What's up, good people? Let me know in the chat. You can hear me by letting me know where you are viewing from, and I'll be right back after the countdown.
Hey, poppin' like I'm supposed to. Watch out for the people that ain't close to. Speak a little something you could toast to. I ain't tryna hear about what you won't do. Moving like I'm into. Hit the ground running like the rent do. Speak a little something that you're into. I ain't tryna hear about what you been through. Like hold up, say what's the hold up. I got the pack, who got the roll up? I'm tryna pull up. It seem like every time I show up, it gotta go up. See the drip, they see the glow up. Oh, now they know us. See, it's funny how my pockets out of shape, but I fit for the flex. Clear the phone call, hit my chick with a text. Parlay through the bird with my drip from the jets. Save a couple hundred by your with the rest. I prefer my reefer with Henny and Coke. Please don't be stingy, got plenty to smoke. Show up and act up and back to the crib. I do not stun, I just rap what I live. Seem like they doing the most for the clout. Did what I said so they know what I'm about. Show up and act up and back to the crib. I do not stun, I just rap what I live. Ayy, winning like I ought to. I ain't wanna do it, but I got to. Smoking what my doctor told me not to. Got these wishing they was hot too. Ballin' like I need to. Got my exes wishing for a redo. Smell the marijuana when I speed through. Hit her with the tip, that's a preview. Hold up, wait up, get your weight up. Shit, get your money, not your hater. Boy, draw a play up. I flip my wrist, a layup. She wanna lay up. I gotta get it, I'ma stay up. I'm all the way up, I got my pay up. I ain't playing with you, I'm a coach now. Commentating, do the most now. I be somewhere booted with my toes down. Make little baby tooted with her nose down. I prefer my reefer with Henny and Coke. Please don't be stingy, got plenty to smoke. Show up and act up and back to the crib. I do not stun, I just rap what I live. Seem like they doing the most for the clout. Did what I said so they know what I'm about. Show up and act up and back to the crib. I do not stun, I just rap what I live.
Go time!
Darius Cooks, also known as your local scammer.
You are, you gay, growing up in Chicago, you just end up being with a tribe of people. I don't know, it's really hard to explain. It might be different now, but when I was growing up, there were crews. We had people we hung with, right? Anyway, and I hung with people like, you remember Calvin, Lavelle, those are people that I used to hang with back in the day, and you see what happened now, especially with randomness of Vail. We ain't heard hide nor have him, have we? We ain't heard hide nor have him, have we? Come to think of it, let me not bring his name up, because let me tell you something. He probably, he ready to. Where's the expose? Where is the expose?
Called an attack. When you do the attack, you got to make sure you're real rooted and grounded. Look that way. Make sure you're real rooted and grounded so they don't know what's about to go on. You just attack them. You just attack them. What did I say? I said you better do what I said to do. Did they think you're crazy? If they think you're crazy, they'll just walk away slowly like that.
What's up, good people? Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Let me know that you can hear me in the chat by typing bring it Vail, because tonight we will, towards the end of our show, the second half of the show, be exposing Darius Cooks, and it's going to be pretty much an epic level tonight. We're going to see some never before seen receipts, some things that I have never shared on this channel, some things that you have never seen from me, some things that are going to make you have the same look on your face that Darius Cooks has in this thumbnail. That's going to be y'all by the time that this show ends. That's going to be y'all, guaranteed. So tonight we have a few topics. Before we get to that, we have, of course, our missing persons alert segment. We have the story of Sinead O'Connor, who unfortunately has gone on to glory. And we have Keke Palmer, who has opened up to us and shared some things that some of us did not know about her. We have Monica, or Gunica, as some people are calling her. And we have then Darius Cooks, and we'll get into those topics, why he hates Black women, where that narrative came from. We're going to talk about the Cupcake Gallery and Uptown Pies and all the stuff surrounding that. And thank you for everyone in the chat who let me know that you could hear me by saying, bring it, Vail. Marianne, RJ, Allison, Alice, Alicia, Miss Wilson, Toys B Starlight and Diamond and Deshaun and Valerie and his MJ and Dre and Darlene and Margin and Deborah and Alice and LeBron and One Love and Zebra 6 and Carol and Minister and Miss Dixie Blue and Shanice and Sugar Spice and Explore. And okay, I'm done because I'm seeing double names now. But thank you to everyone who has done that, as well as those names that I did not get to. I really greatly appreciate you letting me know that you can hear me. Thank you to the 100% of you who have hit that like button. I'm confirming because I'm just gonna make sure that somebody lying. Somebody lying. I was like, it's starting to be 100% every time. And I'm starting to question that. And so when I look over here at the YouTube side, I'm seeing that we have 194 viewers currently, and we only have 70 likes. Why y'all lying to me? Why do y'all, like, I don't know. Like, I can't find out. I got a whole backstage system over here. Tell me everything. Lord Jesus, the people now the people lying to me. Oh Lord Jesus, help us. Maybe it ain't the people lying. Maybe it's the people in the bushes. But if you can hit that, you have hit that that you hit like, just hit the like button. You took the poll, hit the like button. Oh my God. Y'all on one again tonight. Oh Lord Jesus, prepare me, Jesus. All right, we're going to move right into, I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I'm just going to keep moving ahead. But I feel like I'm forgetting something. But we're going to move right into our missing persons alert segment. Tonight we have, I think we have 4. Do we have 4? Yeah, we have 4. And so we're starting with, and some of them, you know, I'll have more information on than others. I'm trying to, why is my poll not working? Hold on, y'all. Let me see something. What's happening? Ooh, did they mess up our poll? Hold on. Did I close out? I closed out the other one. Ooh, that's gonna mess up our show, y'all. Y'all ain't gonna be able to let me know what y'all thinking. Hold on. I can do a Q&A, but I can't do the poll anymore. Hold on. YouTube tripping. Let me see if let's see, I'm gonna restore the chat. Hold on, y'all. Bring it back over here. Let's see what happens. Hopefully it'll be fine. Oh, maybe it was me. I didn't end the poll, I guess. Or it wasn't showing. Maybe it didn't actually take that I ended it. Oh, no, they got problems. It's taking its time. Okay, but let me see. Something wrong with the poll tonight, y'all. Oh, well, we got to push through. Okay, so we have our first person is, and I'm going to be butchering some of these names tonight. We have Tayasia McCoy. Tayasia, let me enlarge this on my side, has been missing since July 22nd of 2023 from Henrico, VA. She is 14, brown hair, brown eyes, 5'6", and 130 pounds. They said that she was last seen wearing an unknown description of clothing. I found this to be a little sad because I'm like, wow, the people didn't even know that the baby was what the baby had on when she last left. Hold on, y'all. My chat didn't froze and everything because I'm not seeing any new messages. Give me a second. I'm gonna just close this and okay, maybe now. Let's see. Gotta love it. And this ain't, I don't even think this on my end. I think this YouTube, but let's see. Uh-oh. Bear with me. Talk amongst yourselves. Let's see. This chat looking awfully funky when I brought it over here. It's like people are missing. I can start a new poll at least. Hold on. I want to do top chat. I want all comments. Live. What is happening? You know what? I'm pull it up on my iPad. At least I can see y'all from down here. Give me a second because I forgot to pull this up. At least I can see y'all from down here. Give me a second. All right. Put that over there on that screen. Flexibility. Oh, yours is acting up too, Alice, on the YouTube side. This is where flexibility comes in. It looked like it's just okay. I guess I'm getting the live chat right here. Okay, so we covered Taisha McCoy, and so our next person that we need to find is Jonae Elizabeth Seaborn, who is 16 years old, Black female. She is 5 feet 5 inches, 130 pounds, brown eyes, and black hair. Clothing is unknown. And this is in Jacksonville, Florida. And this is a missing / endangered teen. And that's all the information I have. If you have any information that could help with this search, please call the Jacksonville Sheriff Office at 904-630-0500. And it's also on your screen. That poster should be big enough. I know I said I was going to cut and paste the information. Today I didn't have time. Once y'all see what I put together for us later, you'll realize, oh yeah, he ain't have enough time to do all that. So I'm only one man. So then we have Tara Williams, and I have their poster for her was just small and awkward like this, but then they have the photos on the side, so I cropped it. So she was last seen. Wow, this is a long time ago. She was last seen on January 7th of 2016. She's an endangered adult at this point. In Greensboro, North Carolina, and in Guilford County. And they said she has brown hair, brown eyes. She is between the height of, I guess because when she went missing, she was maybe a teen. She's between the height of 5 feet to 5 feet 5 inches. And Williams' earpiece. Oh, geez, it's hard to see. So it's tiny even on my side. Williams' ears are pierced and her left nostril is pierced. She wears a stud in the piercing. She has a nickel-sized burn scar on her right wrist, and she was last seen wearing a pink shirt, a black North Face jacket, blue Levi jeans, white Jordan sneakers, and blue and green trim, and a royal blue knitted cap. And hold on, let me put this back. They gave a little bit more description. So they said the details of her disappearance is on the morning of January 7th of 2016, Tyra went to Guilford, I guess, Technical Community College to get her student ID and register for classes that were set to start the following week. Later that day, she returned home to her mother, Danielle's apartment, and her mother made plans to do some back to school shopping and get textbooks the next day. By 6 p.m., Williams was last seen at the Stony Brook Apartments off of Webster Road near Randleman Road in Greensboro, North Carolina. At 8:30 p.m. on January 7th, 2016, she walked away from the apartment complex with her boyfriend and her young brother. She told them she was going to see a friend who lived in the apartment complex and would be back in an hour. She did visit her friend's apartment and was on her way when the GPS signal on her phone stopped, indicating the phone was turned off or the battery died. She never arrived home and has never been heard from again. Wow. So if you have any information, you will contact the Greensboro Police Department, Gina Bates or Michael Matthews or Dolores Wiley at phone number is area code 336-373-2222. And they also give a disclaimer to say, be advised, if you see Tara anywhere, please do not make contact. Call your local emergency number like 911 or the phone numbers indicated for law enforcement on this record, and they will instruct you on what to do. You can also let them know Tara's name and they are profiled on this site. This way, they can visit the profile and get information faster and more complete to use for follow-up. You can always leave us a tip on what you saw by clicking the tip link. And well, that's if you're on the website. So again, if you happen to see her, do not approach her. Please contact 911 or the numbers listed instead. And our last one is a missing residents from Kentucky. It said, please be on alert for Regina Payne, 59, and Bonnie Mays, 80, from Calhoun. They visited the Owensboro Sonic on July 22nd before going missing. Officials say their last known location was at 12:12 a.m. at Sonic. And they didn't give any contact information, but this is like if you go to Twitter, it's at finding our missing would be how you would. Yeah, it's kind of odd that they didn't put it in a post of exactly where, but 911 as well could help. And they were, in their vehicle. Sounds, I don't know. Sometimes with that, I like when I was reading that story, I'm like, what's the chances that because they had left the gas station, it was around, midnight, like what's the chances, you hear people go off the road and they go so far in that people just don't see it and don't notice it. So it made me wonder if it was an accident of some sort, but you just don't know. But thoughts and prayers to everyone. If you, see these people, do not contact Vail, contact 911 or the number listed, the numbers that I've given or the numbers that you can see on your screen. And then you can let me know after the fact that you saw them or something's been done after the fact. Just in case we weren't clear from yesterday. Why is my computer? Okay, what is happening? Where's my little bar to slide my notes over? What is happening? Hold on. I guess I'm gonna have to. Let me see. Let's see if this poll is at least working. let me try to poll. I'm gonna have to close my program and try it again and see what happens. Hopefully it'll clear that up. Sometimes it does. Okay, here we go. Because we got to be able to scroll over to the end of my notes. That's where the Darius Cooks stuff at, and that's what y'all really want to know. Okay, we're moving on to the Sinead O'Connor story. Let me open this in a new window, see if that helps. Okay, go back to my Wednesday live stream. And it did not help. You gotta love it. What is going on? Hold on, I'm gonna do a full screen and then that. Let me zoom out. Go back in. This site gotta be having a problem. That's crazy. Okay, so at least I can still see what I gotta go over. So I just put in the poll Sinead O'Connor to see if you know her. Here's the problem. I just did a full screen, so then I can't see y'all comments no more. Or the so 79% of you actually know who she is. So that's pretty much what I thought might be the poll might be looking like. So anyway, there was an announcement of her passing of the beloved singer Sinead O'Connor. Was confirmed by her family, and they are requesting privacy during this difficult time. The news of her death was initially reported by the Irish Times with no immediate response from her representatives. And just a little, I don't know if y'all knew. Hold on, let me end this poll. See how many of you actually knew that she had passed away. I actually saw this afternoon. I'm trying to think. Now that I'm looking, I don't recall seeing an actual date. But they said during her early career, she rose to fame with her #1 hit, Nothing Compares to You, in 1990 that was written by Prince. So, he did the original song. She did a cover of it. And they said a brief overview of her career with she had 10 albums that were released. The latest being I'm Not Bossy, I'm the Boss in 2014. Her decision to boycott the Grammy Award in 1991 due to her criticism of the Academy's focus on commercialism in art, which they still do. Nothing changed with that. So that was one of her things. She had quite a bit of controversies. Then she had her infamous appearance on Saturday Night Live, and I don't know if any of you remember that. In that infamous appearance, she ended up tearing the picture of the Pope. And I have that here. Let me remove this.
Have confidence in the victory of good over evil. Fight the real enemy.
So that was how she was getting down, even in the 90s, when doing stuff like that was not popular at all. And I see who is that? Drea Parker saying, yeah, she ruined her career. And moderators, you can put comments on the screen during this. Let me see. Yeah, we got Alice, Blessed Child of God, and Precious G in the chat below. I mean, I'm sorry, as in the backstage. And so yeah, after that, she faced very serious backlash from that. And for many years later, in 2021, she actually reflected on the incident in her book. And she also in 2021 announced that she would be retiring from the music industry, only to reverse course days later, and then said that due to her love for making music, and despite prejudices she faced, that she was going to basically return right away. So she also had some challenges in life outside of her career. She reportedly has had a troubled childhood that was marked by her parents' divorce and alleged abuse by her mother. She was sent to an asylum for being an unruly woman at the age of 15 after being caught shoplifting. And she was eventually diagnosed with bipolar disorder and complex post-traumatic stress disorder and borderline personality disorder. And in 2015, she had a radical hysterectomy, and which sent her into a downward spiral, even more so. And they said some of the personal struggles and triumphs she had, she was also greatly impacted by her mother's death in a car accident and her move to London. She ended up moving to London for a fresh start. And she had an emotional connection to Nothing Compares to You and her complicated feelings towards Prince. I don't know what that was about. I guess I would have to read the book for that because I didn't know that was something. And she had a tumultuous personal life, including a painful custody battle and a self-deletion attempt in 1999. Y'all saw me trying to be like, what word can I use? Finding solace in religion, she ended up becoming an ordained priest of the Latin Trinidine Church, and later converted to Islam in 2018. She was just on a search. She was just on a soul search. Announcing retirement in 2003 to seek a quote unquote normal life. But she then continued and returned to music. She coping with tragedies. She had a heartbreaking incident of her 17-year-old son self-deleting himself in 2022. And she was hospitalized following him unaliving himself. And she made plans. She recently made plans for new music and an international tour that she shared on Facebook before her passing. So she wasn't ending. She thought she was, there was more to come for her. It's been some wake-up calls for that. We never know when our last day is coming, for sure. She was an iconic singer who touched the hearts of many with her music and courage. Through her breakthrough moments, controversial actions, personal struggles, and the impact of her son's unaliving on her life, she was still committed to being an artist that we all loved. And so she leaves behind a lasting legacy, for sure. We had 80%, I think, of you who actually knew of her. So that says quite a bit. And 71% of you had remember the infamous her ripping the Pope's picture on Saturday Night Live stunt. And 28% of you did not know about that. I'm assuming 28% of you are just younger than that time frame, or you were kids, because it was huge. It was huge. It was bigger. It was just as big, probably bigger than when Janet Jackson had the nip slip on the Super Bowl. And if you don't remember that either, you're really young. So that's that. Then we move on to, let me see. How am I gonna operate if I can't get to my show notes? Hold on. Why this thing ain't giving me the slide bar? Let me see if I can arrow. Can I arrow? There we go. Okay. If I click up there, I can. Look at God. Won't he do it? Got to use this noggin, y'all. Y'all got to use your noggins. Okay. So now I got to just use the arrow. There's no slide bar. The slide bar at the bottom, scrolling bar disappeared on me. Been there all day, though. It's been there forever. It's always there. Tonight, once I get on live, it's been there all day while I've been putting show notes and all that. But I get on live with y'all. I got y'all staring at me and it stops working. It disappears. Just like the poll did. So we have Keke Palmer. And I'm interested to know, did you watch my video on the drama between Keke and her boyfriend? That was probably the most viral story right before the Carly Russell thing hit, because that was all over social media. But the talented actress and singer Keke Palmer recently made a revelation about her journey and self-acceptance and embracing her true self. Keke joined the co-host Raven Symone and Miranda Mayday on the show. So I didn't think to pull any pictures into just to this moment. I'm like, just in case. Most of y'all should know who Raven Symone is, though. Raven Symone and her wife, I think it's her wife, they have a podcast. I thought they were on Keke's podcast, though, because I don't know if this part might be written incorrectly. But I know that they were on a podcast where Keke was the one, seemed like she was interviewing. And I didn't see any of this part. I never saw the whole thing. But the clips I saw were, and I actually almost did the story on it. Just, it got pushed back with all these other stories. But Raven Symone was saying, she was explaining how she handled dating when she was younger, being, gay and the world not knowing. And she was closeted, etc. And so she was talking about how she had people sign NDAs and how, awkward it was, like, because she knew eventually, if it got past a certain point, she would have to have that conversation with people and have them sign it, etc. And so they were talking about that. But obviously, they talked about way more. And I'm not sure if it was at the same time or again, if Keke has her own podcast and Raven has theirs. I don't know. But anyway, during the show, she shared some powerful insights about her sexuality and personal growth. She talked about discovering her true self. She opened up about a pivotal moment in her life when she decided it was time to explore her life. That was her words. After years of repressing her sexuality. Keke then went on to be quoted as saying, "There was a moment in my life where I was like, y'all know I can be myself. The moment you overthink ish, that's not even me. Why am I overthinking this? I guess you just get to the point where I want my life to be my own life. And so then she talked about hiding her sexuality, and she revealed that she didn't live out certain experiences in her relationships because she kept her sexuality hidden from her family. And Keke went on to be quoted as saying, there is like an unsaid thing that can make you feel. And because I like guys too, I was kind of like, well, we don't have to talk about it because I like guys too. It was like, that's an extra thing that no one really has to know about. I don't really have to live out. And she talked about embracing her feelings. At the age of 17, she decided to embrace her feelings and accept her true self. What was that poll question I left? Oh, did you see the video? 45% of you saw the video, 55% of you did not. Please go check out the video and hit that like button over there if you do. Play it like a podcast while you're driving or washing dishes or cleaning the house or something. Help a brother out. I appreciate it. Thank you in advance. Next poll question is, are you surprised? I'm not done. I got a little bit more, but are you surprised by this news from Keke? She was also quoted as saying, I ultimately just feel like the acceptance of that part of myself in general was a part of my process of being able to have love in my life. And she talked about family acceptance and said she shares how her family reacted to her true self, and it's heartwarming. She was quoted as saying, sexuality and stuff like that was not even, my parents never even cared about something like that or talked about that. And I know that by the time they saw how free of a spirit I was, or whoever I wanted to date, they were like, whoever cares. It was never anything that was in their mind. And then she talked about breaking the stereotypes. She expressed that her stance is on not being confined to labels and the importance of breaking stereotypes. And she was quoted as saying, the video was to represent a young woman today. It's not the traditional woman anymore, and not the specifics of I am gay, I am straight, I am bi. I'm making the rules for myself, and I don't have to be stuck down to one label. And then, she talked about her journey and self-acceptance. And, this, many are saying she's an inspiring example of embracing one's true self and not conforming to societal norms. I'm sure a lot of you had many, many issues with that. Oh, Jesus. Oh, I see it all happening. Are you surprised that by this news from Keke Palmer? 17% of you say yes. 83% of you say no. I am curious. Please put it in the chat because I will watch this back. I may not catch everybody's comments, but I am so curious at what y'all, those of you, the 83% of you like, oh yeah, we knew this. Why you even add this in here, Val? I want to know why y'all saying that, because I'm not going to say I was shocked, but I was like, what? What? Okay. I was just like, oh, okay. Really? Okay. All right. Okay. And part of me is like, I guess in some ways, maybe I questioned at times, so I'm not like shocked. But very interesting, nevertheless. Hold on. Y'all know I got to manually slide my notes over hitting the arrow button. You got to love it. Oh, let me do comments. I forgot to do comments for that last story. Oh, we only got 2. Okay. Let's see what it is about. Okay, I'm gonna stay on topic. I like to stay on topic with because when I do the pre-records, I want the comments to line up for the people watching later and be like, what is that about? Margin USA is saying, I'm straight. I have been married for over 27 years, but I feel bad for people who are unsure about what they are or feel like they have to be in the closet. Yeah, it's a very complicated situation. And I mean, I know of people, in real life who have struggled with that, but, haven't even been transparent with the person they get with it. It's just very complicated, but it's all because they're ashamed or afraid of what society will say. So I'm glad that's the reason why I'm glad that it's becoming a little bit more of the norm, or, to some degree, or acceptable to some degree, because I think it's going to overall help not have so many people, in these fake marriages, et cetera, and hurting people when 15, 25, 3 years or whatever into it. They're like, I'm sorry, this ain't me, all of that. So Paradox True says she has done interviews and spoken about this before. Oh, okay. That's why y'all not surprised. Okay. So I guess maybe this was related to the movie she's doing or something. I know she did her first movie and she premiered it like 2 weeks ago, like the weekend of after that drama happened with her boyfriend. Yeah, Keke spoke about her sexuality before more recently. Okay, so I'm the one that's out the loop. Not Keke was out and about before the Usher situation. That grown dependent she had a baby with is what turned it negative. Okay. Keke always seems kind of alpha female. And I was more surprised about Raven Symone than her. But interesting. I can see that in Lorna, and it's that was my thought behind it. I think that's why I kind of felt the energy to a degree, for lack of a better word. Tracy Lee is saying, this wasn't news to me. I was surprised when she was with her son's father. She has stated this in the past. Okay. Again, I seem to be the only one out of the loop. Oso said Keke got an Los Angeles LGBT Center's Vanguard Award. Why? Well, okay, so why did this go viral today? Now I'm like, why did they waste my time? Because I could have just heard about this and kept it moving. But I thought this was news. I thought this was, because it was like, I guess, confirmation news to me. I just thought that I didn't think 80% of you, 83% of y'all would know or even feel this. Brain on Black. There was an interview she did with Wendy that was confusing. She was mad that Wendy outed her, but she was low-key outing herself. I remember seeing that clip when she was like, girl, you talking about me, but you wasn't even there, kind of thing. She was reading Wendy, but in a in a sassy way. Okay. And the last one, the world is so judgment. How about that? How about that, Don Smart? How about that? Because I've been really, did I put that poll in here? I don't think I put the poll in here. I'm going to do it now. I swear I did. Hold on. Jack. And I cannot scroll around quickly. Hold on, y'all. I had a poll about what's happening with the this trans women conversation, trans women versus cis women, and the stuff with T.S. Madison and now Tasha K. But it started with Jess Hilarious and I think T.S. and then now it's T.S. and Tasha K. And it's just so, I don't mind covering it. I just hate to see all the division. And it's I don't like it. So I was staying away from it, but kind of want to cover it at the same time. Let me see. Should I cover the trans? I don't even know how to word this. Trans viral convo happening. Now, y'all know what I'm saying because I'm telling y'all what I'm saying. So all that stuff going on with the Jess Hilarious, who made a comment on a podcast about a man mistaking her for a trans woman, and he wanted to fly her out, and she says he's a celebrity or whatever. He wanted to fly her out, and he wanted her to get on his back. And he reached out to her because he thought that she was a trans person. He didn't know she was a cis, naturally born woman. He did not know that. And so it spawned from that, and then it just went left, because then I can't even remember I've been kind of in and out of the story, and that's another reason I didn't report on it. I've been collecting stuff, and I was like, if they're interested, then I'll go ahead and pull it all together. But I got clips and stuff. I just got to organize it and figure out exactly, wrap my mind around the timeline and all that. 55%. No, it was jumping around. It's still more. It's almost half and half. So maybe I'll make an executive decision to just keep it moving. I'm probably going to keep it moving. It's so close. So close. And this ain't everybody voting. It's only 52 of y'all voting so far. Anyway, we're going to move into our next topic, which is Monica. Okay, I'll read this one. Renee is saying, I think the trans versus cis is a conversation that needs to be had. It just seems like a bunch of miscommunication. There you go. And that's Renee S. You have summed it up perfectly. The way that I feel about it. I feel like the conversation does need to be had. I feel like the biggest issue is miscommunication, and the miscommunication is causing unnecessary division. And I think honestly, some of the division and the miscommunication is on purpose from the outsiders, because it's called divide and conquer. So if I can keep y'all separated and fighting amongst each other, then you guys can't handle or you're not going to pay attention to the real things that are affecting you and endangering your lives, both naturally born cis Black women and trans experience Black people. And so keep us distracted, fighting amongst each other. And then on the meantime, they setting everybody up with a trap. They digging a hole for everybody to walk into. That's how I see it. Okay, so we have Monica. So we got 50. So I'll see how it goes tomorrow. I got other topics too. So I'll see, like, if something a little more pressing happens tomorrow or whatever, because it is that topic is on my list for tomorrow's topics, but we'll see what happens tomorrow. If I wake up and there's something else happening, then that's what I'm going with. So the next one is, did you notice that I skipped the Monica story last night? And it's still on the thumbnail. I forgot. Well, I really didn't have time, but I need to take her off of yesterday's thumbnail. And y'all didn't even remind me. I noticed it was in the title. When I got off live, I was like, oops. It was in the title and on the thumbnail. And I decided, as I was putting the content together for last night, that I just didn't have enough time for it. And I was like, well, let me just scrap that story. But then I forgot I had already put it in the title and already put her image on the thumbnail. So yeah, I was like, well, okay, I'll just cover it tomorrow, meaning today. So here we are. Here we are covering the situation that happened with Monica at her concert over the weekend. I'm sure, like, it's been viral too. Those of you who be on social media, I'm sure you have seen it. So what occurred was, over the weekend, Monica was in Detroit at the Riverfront Music Festival with over 20,000 people. And this story was per DJ Envy from the Breakfast Club. He was giving an overview because he was also there. So he said that it was raining like crazy there, but it didn't stop the crowds from attending. And he also said that it was a great time there, and that and I quote, he said there were no issues except for this particular issue that has now gone viral. I find it I was like, I don't know. He's in a protected space. He's VIP. He ain't seeing what the crowd's seeing. He's got a whole different perspective. So I would say maybe this was the biggest incident or that went viral or whatever. But to say you had 20,000 people and no situations, that's so unlike human behavior. I don't know, especially at a festival and people drinking and music and all that, there was some other fisticuffs going on. It probably just wasn't captured on camera and going viral. But anyway, he said that at this festival, there were performers there, including Monica, Ashanti, and Saucy Santana, and DJ Envy was the guest DJ. And they were saying that he said as well, it's not entirely clear what caused the confrontation and who swung first. However, there is video footage floating around online of multiple angles, and I have a couple of them for you. I'm going to play just a little bit of Monica talking, and I'm going to mute the rest and explain it, because Monica is throwing the F-bombs, the MF bombs, the N-words. It's a lot. And I was going to first beep it out. I didn't have time to do that. I didn't have time to re-edit it. So, yeah. So you know what's happening. So let me pull Monica's video up. Uh-oh. Or should I say Gunica? Because this was some goon behavior. I love Monica, don't get me wrong, but this was some goon behavior. But okay, here she is. She's on stage. She's noticing that there's a commotion happening, and I guess she could see well enough. I know, obviously, based on her comments, she could see well enough to see that there's a confrontation happening between a man and a woman while she's doing her set. So here we go.
Like that? Listen. Listen, if y'all don't get that nigga up out of here, won't even fucking play like that. You ain't no lady like that, niggas. You out your fucking...
Okay, there she go. So she's cursing. Now she's getting off stage like, I'm about to go down here and handle this. The performer, she got security all around her, and security in the crowd as well. And she getting down there to go handle it. Gunica. Uh-oh, I am having problems with mine. Ooh, please don't let my notes go out. This is going to throw everything off. So it is a problem with this program that I use. It just gave me a warning. Hold on. It's throwing me off. Is this it? Nope, it's up here. Lord Jesus. We might just do 2 stories. If this goes out, I cannot do, literally this leads to the show. So we'll see. I'll do comments, and it was acting up earlier today, but I also got new internet service. I upgraded to business, and so it was acting up early, but I thought it was because it's literally not coming up, y'all. Okay, but anyway, so Monica ended up getting down in the crowd, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And now I have this footage here is the other angle. So there's 2 angles that I have of the commotion between the 2. And I'm hoping YouTube don't get me for this technically violence, but I don't know. It may or may not.
I know! Don't like that. Listen. Y'all don't get that nigga up out of here. You ain't fucking play like that. You ain't no lady like that, niggas. You out your fucking mind? Say it.
I ended up getting her cursing in there anyway. I was sidetracked. So again, we don't know exactly what happened. We just know that there's a commotion. Here's another angle. We can hear Monica in the background again, so I'm going to just mute it because Gunica is going in. Okay, here's the and this angle, as you can see, much better. It's clearer and everything. So what's not clear is if, she swung first or he swung first. It's not clear. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna pull this back down. And so there were, comments on social media per usual. People always gotta get to fisticuffing in the comments and keyboard bullying, and that's what happened. So we have some comments here. This was on Twitter. So one person said, first off, he never should have grabbed her hands. Clearly he had a grip, and since she said let go, he didn't, so I don't blame her for swinging. Then this other person said, do we know why he is grabbing her? Maybe it was to stop her from swinging on him. But again, my point is, if you were willing to fight a man, chances are he's going to swing back. and everyone jumped to her defense immediately. And this person then says, doesn't matter. It's the mere fact that he was going back and forth with a woman, and it was unnecessary. I bet you get your A beat regularly. Just because it's a norm for you doesn't mean it shouldn't. It should be for society. And then they're just going back and forth on each other. So let me know in the chat what y'all think. Okay, good. I was panicking, like I'm trying to like keep the composure here for y'all, but I'm literally, that's why my my speech is paused, and I don't know how well y'all can see how distracted I was, because I'm literally like, please reset, please reset. I didn't close all the windows and everything. It looks like it is, my notes are back, but that bar at the bottom, my scrolling bar, is still not there, but at least I know I can arrow. Hold on, now I want to pull in extra stuff. So then Monica actually put out a message herself on her Instagram, and she apologized for the incident. And in her IG post, she said, I apologized there, and I'm apologizing here for my actions, but no one would take action. I was so triggered. I watched, and she didn't appear to even know him. It appeared to be about space during a packed concert. He punched her with all his strength. My intentions were to prevent her from being hit again, and she wasn't. I asked for help. It fell on deaf ears. It was like seeing my mother or aunt be assaulted. This woman was 50 plus. I pray she's okay. Happy Sunday to everyone. So that was Monica's response to what occurred. So we get to see, like, you know, from her perspective, why she approached it the way that she did. And then I'm curious, what do y'all feel now that you know her perspective on it? The fact that seeing that was triggering for her, it reminded her of her youth, you know, growing up watching the women in her life go through that. And I can understand how that could potentially be triggering. This thing don't get out the way. Okay. Y'all doing a poll now. I'm gonna jump to some questions. Let's see. Okay, we just got a couple, and so we're gonna get through these, and then we're gonna move on. Okay. Power dynamics for life. Yes, it's about respect. My issue is that there's so many people trying to redefine womanhood, and they are not doing that to man. Okay. Key got jokes. She hit him first, but he didn't have to hit her like a man. But you can't be putting your hands on grown men and not expect him to hit you back. Keep your hands to yourself. I think that's a great advice. And I think that's true too. It's a very tricky situation to be in as a man. I have been in those situations where it's kind of like, okay, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you let a woman just beat you, then you a punk and da-da-da and this and that. But if you then manhandle her and put a stop to it, then you're an abuser and you're a woman beater and you're a punk too. So it's kind of like, so my approach is usually, and it's only been a couple times I've been in those situations, is to just restrain until, you know, I can get them calm down, and then, you know, put distance, get away, all that kind of stuff. But I've been blessed in the way that I haven't been in anything major where I couldn't quickly disarm the situation, or, you know, just like I said, restrain and prevent violence. Gunica isn't just a nickname, right? She lives by it. Precious, now that I think about it, in this song, you can tell that she's gangster with it when she said, I'll kick your door in and smack your chick. Not having it. Exactly. Monica shouldn't have put herself in that physically that is love her though. Yeah, that was very risky. And her being the celebrity, the star, it's very risky, period. It's risky for her to even be on the stage, much less get out in the crowd. And then if she only got like, look like two guys with two bodyguards or whatever, security was getting down with her, and one was so out of shape he was having a hard time kneeling down to be able to get off of the stage. So yeah, that I couldn't imagine him, God forbid, if pandemonium broke out amongst a crowd of thousands, there would be nothing they could do to save her. So Sweet Diva is saying, I don't think she should have to apologize, but explain her action. Yeah, I think I appreciate that she did it, and also she gave clarity, because in none of the clips that I see the part about her apologizing. So I'm sure that even if people capture that, for some reason that part didn't make it. I ain't gonna say for some reason that's too that's not gritty enough. That's not drama. So that stuff doesn't really make it to social media. They'll just keep the drama out. Gunika's security should have been hopping into the crowd first. They're behind her. Yeah, exactly. That is exactly what I was saying, Kim. Yeah. Yep, Don. She is her sister's keeper. I think she proved that. Can't nobody question that at this point. Rochelle saying she was triggered. Yes, she said she was triggered. And some of us have been in those situations where we've been triggered by certain situations, and before we know it, we have reacted, and it's too late. It's like, oops, ouch. Didn't mean to react, but sorry. Sorry, not sorry. So question was, did you hear about Monica, the poll I closed? Did you hear about Monica jumping off the stage at her performance to check a fan who hit a woman? 71% of you said yes. 28% of you said no. So the majority, it was viral. And again, it happened, what was it, 2 days ago now? Or at least it went out, it came out yesterday, I think. So Monica, this last one I'm closing out is, yeah, that was the last one over there. Should Monica have issued an apology for her actions / her response? And 66% of you said no, and 33% of you said yes. Yeah, I think she could have just moved on with life, and I don't think anyone would have tried to cancel her or anything. And it would have just been what it was, because she already has the reputation of being Monica, aka Gunica. So people be like, oh, that was Monica. That's what she told y'all what she do. So but I'm glad she did. She's a classy woman. Like she's straight up from, is she from College Park, y'all? I think she's from College Park, but she's straight up from, the hood, but she is definitely still a lady. She knows how to, she comes from that old school artistry where they had training, interview training and image consulting and image training. Like she knows how to carry herself. How she lives behind closed doors is not necessarily what we get to see and consume, which is a beautiful thing. And she's very active on social media as well. All right, so that is that story, and that is, I think I'm doing much better at keeping this extra story short. Like yesterday, we were at like 58 minutes or something, and I was done with the stories, and we were moving into Crooklyn, as I've heard some of you saw somebody call it Crooklyn. And so we're doing the same thing today. Now it's time to move into Crooklyn. And so I'm going to play, see if I can get it prime. I thought this would show me. Come on now. Does nothing want to work? There it is. Yeah, it was giving me a problem. Let me see. Okay, that's what we want. Give me a minute. There we go. Okay, so we're going to do our theme song. A little slight commercial break. I need to pull in a couple more things, so it's gonna give me a little time. And then when I come back, we will move into our exposing Darius Cooks part of our program. And I think it might be pretty epic, but you guys will let me know. All right, I'll see you in a minute. Grab your drinks, do your refresh, You're gonna need to get your double, put on the side so you don't miss out. All right.
I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. It's too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. Too easy. It's too easy. I've been there, done it, seen it. Boy, all that like Keenan. Still got crack, they fiendin'. Flow still hot like Phoenix. Shine so bright, I'm gleaming. This off top, I'm tweaking. Fresh out the rat like Neiman. And I'm still tryna fight my demons. Cause we all gotta act like Tina. That's why I gotta ride with the Nina. Outside, it's a war going on. Maybe put my hands on my head like the Macarena. They want you walking on board like Kima. Ain't give a F to you like John Cena. Putting blood on the brand new Beamer. Tryna earn 8 stripes like Adidas. You get cold when you ride with the heater. It'll turn you to a dog like a Keto. And expose to a cat like a cheetah. They smoke my partner like reefer. Dímelo porque o no entiendo. Mi gente must really need Jesus. They shed real blood. I never seen the crypt and I believe it. It's too easy. Too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. It's too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. It's too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. It's too easy. It's too easy. I've been there, done it, seen it. Y'all just talk, don't live it. And just took that route, that seen it. And I'm so outspoken like Reason. Jimmy Neutron, boy, Young G's. And I'm a self-made man.
I actually interviewed Darius Cooks on my radio show. I've been 5 or 6 years ago before he blew up on social media. And Justice was just articulated. He actually went on Periscope Live during the radio show. It is his own show in the studio during the show that he was supposed to be on. But he's a narcissistic individual. And because of that, he's had many of these run-ins. I think there was a scandal a few years ago where he was doing fake credit repair for people and got sued. His restaurant got closed down, those sorts of things. So he maintains these online scams, preying on the hearts and minds of his followers. And even just was just articulated after our show, because we tend to ridicule people when they act up on our show. He actually went on Periscope Live to talk about me and our producer and some of the other guests after the show. So this has been going on for a long period of time. Now, legally, when somebody talks about you online, that's just talk. But once they get into this place of making threats, either violence, threatening to release personal information, well, that's where you can actually file a criminal report against this individual. And if they do release improper or censored information, personal information that is privileged, that absolutely, you can report that to the Georgia Bureau of Investigations or to the Federal Bureau of Investigations for them to look into it, particularly if you have multiple individuals who are involved in this.
All right, I am back, and we are back with second half of the show, and wanted to know in this poll here, because we're about to do a deep dive. There's going to be a little deep dive. Have you ever heard or seen that Darius Cooks actually hates black women? That black women have never been, were not a part of his original plan. That he doesn't choose to have black women as his followers. He was forced into having Black women as his followers. And so he decided to make the best of it and realized that they were his best grift, to be honest, because they were loyal. Black women are loyal. We know this. We know this. And oh wow, 68% of you have actually heard it before. 32% of you have not. Like 69% of you. That's actually a little bit probably more than I thought, but I have heard that going around. And another poll question. I may or may not cover that here. I mean, it's a quick little story, kind of. Yeah, it's a quick little story. But I want to know real quick. Do you want to know where the 3 inches of sadness tagline came from? So I know you've heard me talk about 3 inches of sadness, mention it many times. And I'm wondering if you want to know where it came from. And I know that some of y'all think that, you know, it's for, I said it because I'm exaggerating or just making a creative joke about 3 inches of sadness. And yes, it definitely was a clapback of sorts. But it's also very true. And this is a recent picture of Exhibit B, 3 inches. If you look, Crooks has a camel toe. And I don't know no man who also has a camel toe, except for when they are not stuffing their crotch area with socks. This is it in its natural state. Giving camel toe. And he pointing at it. And he pointing at it. So, okay, 81% of you, well, 80 is jumping a little bit, want to know where the 3 inches of sadness tagline comes from. So, this is, that saying is one of my original works. It came out of this brain. And it was sparked out of Darius Cooks was harassing me on Twitter. And he actually did to me what he did, what was attempting to do to me, what he did to the Bi guy a few weeks ago, where he tried to not only out the guy, but he tried to kind of insinuate or try to embarrass the guy by saying that, you know, the guy was riding him and all of that. And so he tried to pull that shenanigans with me. And I was like, dude, like, this is a real life thing here. You can't, for one, I'm smarter. I know how to clap back. So anyway, so he called himself trying to say that he was blowing my back out and all this other stuff. And like on Twitter in front of a bunch of people trying to embarrass me. And so I wish I had the tweet here. I wasn't thinking I would pull the tweet up because it was it was a pretty epic read, my clapback. And so I basically told him, for one, how would you be able to do that with and there was a bunch of other stuff. I'll pull it up for Foolishness Friday. Let me put it in the note. Foolishness Friday. Okay, I'll remember that. So 3 inches of sadness tweet, and I'll show y'all that. And Michelle Smith says, I remember you went off and said it. Yes, because honestly, I was holding, like, there's still a few things that I've held back on, but I was holding back on going there with him until he went there. And so I was like, okay, all bets are off, because what I'm saying, as usual, is factual. Always factual. I'm not just going to make up none. I have no reason to. It's too much truth out there to be making up stuff. Like the fact that there's truly 3 inches of sadness behind that fake sock bulge. And we see here, the day I guess he forgot to carry it, we see camel toe. So when I saw that, I chuckled. Somebody this ain't me. Somebody on Twitter, they saw that. They screenshot this. They put that together. It's their tweet and all that good stuff. I saw it and I chuckled. Chuckled, and then I screen grabbed it and said, let me pull it in for my vehicle. So, What did I just put here in the poll? Oh, do you know where the narrative comes from that Darius Cooks doesn't like black women? And there's 32% of you say that you do know. 68% of you say you don't. So 68% of you are going to really be going on a ride with us in a minute. I got a bunch of polls in the front. This is the last one, and then we moving into. Sometimes I'm putting this stuff together, and I'm like, I wonder what they think about this. I wonder what they. It's my analytical mind. I can't help it. So let's get into it. So we're starting this journey. We're going back in time to circa 2008, 2009-ish. I'll have to look at my records to really see, but it's in that range. It's in that range. That is around the time that Darius Cooks created, and it was the inception of the start of his scampire. And his scampire started it started originally with his YouTube channel. That was innocent enough. But it started with, it started with his Facebook, then the YouTube channel, where he started doing the videos. It was called Everyday Cooking. It was, trying to be urban. Cooking. Not cooking, but cooking. Everyday Cooking. And that was the name of the channel. And that was his brand for a long time, for years. That was his brand until he got to New York. So probably for a good, 3-4 years, something like that. That was the brand. Then somehow the Darius Cooks thing came. I don't know the origins of that. I'm sure he's told it. I just ain't seen it because he tells everything. Well, no, he tells his version of everything and what he want to tell. He don't tell everything. I'm about to tell everything. I'm going to continue to tell everything. And right now we're just going to do it every night until I get tired of doing it every night. Then we do it like once or twice a week or 3 times a week, something like that. Right now I'm good. I'm enjoying this. So, it started with the Cupcake Gallery and Darius Cooks. I'm going to close out this poll, then I'm going to move on. The poll I just did was, do you think I have the receipts on where that narrative comes from? 98% of you say yes. 1% of you say no. Hello, Darius Cooks. Or Darius Travoy Williams, or DTW. I used to call you DTW. Initials for Darius Travoy Williams, Darius Cooks, and Darius Crooks. Welcome. I'm about to lay it out. You probably forgot about some of this stuff. The internet never forgets. So we picture this. A young, young-ish, before he was Scampa, he was a little younger. And I don't have no younger pictures in here. Yeah, I don't have it. Wait, let me see. No younger pictures. We just go with that. We just stick with that. It's very fitting because this is the inception of his stunt queendom. The stunt queendom. So he's starting the Cupcake Gallery. He's gotten the investors. We're going to talk more about that too. We're doing a deep dive tonight. He got the investors. He's now, he's gotten the secured the location. He's actually putting marketing materials together. And I'm helping with the build out. I built the wall there. He wanted me to build the counter and all of that, but he wanted me to basically work for free, and I wasn't doing that no more because I had been doing it forever. And I drew the line when he opened up a physical location and had investors. I was like, ain't no way I'm finna sit here and do this for free, or you gonna give me $500 to build a wall, build a counter, a cupcake case, and all. No. So that bothered him though. He was mad, and he tried to. That was when I saw his cutthroat business side. And again, I had known him for nearly a decade at that point, and I had never experienced that with him. I experienced selfishness, narcissism, I didn't really realize it back then. I didn't fully recognize it for many reasons, but I didn't recognize it. It was there. I didn't recognize it because I grew up in environments with that, so I didn't necessarily think it was odd for a person to be selfish. I was used to people close to me being selfish. So there's that. So fast forward, he's now doing the marketing material and stuff. And Craigslist was one of his favorite go-tos to find resources, people, blah, blah, blah. That's how he got his cupcake counter and the display case built, because he ended up finding somebody on Craigslist, because I wasn't finna do it for free. And I should say at the rate he was trying to get me to do it, which was practically free. So he puts out an ad on, and this is where this narrative of him that black women were not his choice. He puts out an ad on, I'm pretty sure it was Craigslist and wherever else, probably on social media. And here it is. And so he got responses from black women, because at this point, remember, the only reason the Cupcake Gallery even got started or became a concept at all is because of the black women who supported him, primarily Christian black women from his church and church environments, because he sung in a community choir for many, many years, so he knew a lot of people, and also his Facebook followers. Around that time, he had maybe about 5,000 followers or so on his personal Facebook. And so he puts out this ad, and he's now getting responses from black women. And here's one in particular where he really tells you who he is. So this is his response to this lady. This is Darius, and he says, "Miss Robinson, I'm selling cupcakes. That's what it is, a cupcake. How many African Americans do you know that eat cupcakes on a regular basis? Please take a moment and think about it. How many African Americans do you know that go out of their way for a simple cupcake? Not many. The demographic of my average customer is a white woman with kids who stays at home while her husband works. She typically has a dog, and she takes her kids out in the daytime for a stroll in the neighborhood in a stroller that costs no less than $300. Does that sound like a typical black woman? Because black women can't afford strollers? What? If you're unsure, then ask yourself how many black women in your neighborhood are married. Woo, Jesus. So black women can't get married? Black women don't get married? I'm sorry, are any of you African-American women in the audience, man? I swear I know. Y'all know. Can black telling all our black women be married married and a stay at home mom? Actually, I got a couple aunts, couple aunts who were stay at home moms there my entire life. If you're unsure, then ask yourself how many black women in your neighborhood are married, stay at home with their kids, have a dog. Oh, black women don't have dogs either. And take their children out for a walk in the daytime, for a stroll in the neighborhood, in an expensive stroller. How many? Y'all see this? Y'all see this? This is the real. Remember, I've said he gives the appearance of being transparent, but this is the real. This. And some might say, oh, that was years ago. That was like 10 years ago. He's changed. No. This is real. This is who he is. What you're getting is the advertising. You're getting the actor. But I'll continue. I'm sure you agree, not many. If that is the case, then why would I profile a product to a certain demographic without ensuring it looks and feels like a product they'd use? So basically he's saying, and I probably didn't preface this right or set this up right. So he was looking for models for his advertisement of his cupcakes for his new cupcake shop on the north side of Chicago. He was only looking for white women because he, as he's saying here, doesn't feel like black women buy cupcakes or could afford them. And so why would he have them in his advertising for cupcakes? He wants to only show white people eating cupcakes because that's his audience. That's his customer. That's who he wants. Not the black women who actually enabled him, and the black investors who were women as well, black men and women, not the investors, and not the women who would come into his kitchen on Kingston and his apartment on the 3rd floor, who even was buying those old greaser things in the first place when he was experimenting and paying like, I think they was paying $30 a box back then. And then if he delivered, which I helped him deliver on a few occasions, he charged $25 per delivery. Ask me how much I got out of that. You got it. Nothing. I'm just being a good friend. Oh, that ain't even Majestic 30 ain't it. Now, when he got the restaurant, when he got the store, once it opened, them things went up to $50, 40 some, almost $50. With taxes, they was 50 some dollars. More than Krispy Kremes for a dozen. So anyway, that was the backlash he was getting from the from the African American women who had been supporting him all that time, gave him the seed money to open this restaurant. But this is how he operates. Y'all, if you pay attention, you see a pattern here. The people who help him, when he gets what he needs or wants from them, he dismisses them, and they're nothing to him. He's literally doing it here. Without the black women who were buying his cupcakes out of his kitchen, he would have never gotten to this point. Without the black women and black men who invested into the Cupcake Gallery business money, seed money, he would have never had the money to acquire the place, build it out, get equipment, et cetera, get into the north side of Chicago where the white people he wanted were. He wouldn't even have the money to do that. His original location, I did talk about this previously in another video years ago. He was originally looking at a storefront on Lake Street, right? Like 2 or 3 doors down from his church, Marshfield Church, that he talks about. And he's went there recently and broke in the church and took a picture. Well, did some video. He's called himself working on a documentary. I can't wait for it. Ooh, I can't wait. Y'all know I'm gonna have content around it. Oh, y'all know I'm gonna have content around it. So he was originally going to put it there. It's right across from a L line, train line. And it's right on the border between Chicago and Oak Park. Oak Park is a suburb. And I went there. He wanted me to go with him. And he was like, well, for one, he wanted me to do some work, of course. But he wanted me to go there. We went there. It needed quite a bit of work. And the next thing I know, I turned around. I don't know about the next time we talk about it, a few days, a week later, or whatever. He said he had already found a place on the north side and he had signed a lease and everything. And so that ended up being the location that he ended up being at on Wilson, where now the neighborhood was more diverse, because where his shop would have been on Lake Street was primarily African American. It was just next to the neighborhood that would have had the white women with the $300 strollers. Anyway, so he goes on to rant and say, if that is the case, then why would I profile a product to a certain demographic without ensuring it looks and feels like a product they'd use? This is a business. My main goal here is to increase revenue, not let it jump out of the window. Would you buy a product that didn't look like something you'd use? Profiling a product to a demographic of people and it looks nothing like what they'd use is downright stupid. It's foolish. That's common sense. Anyone knows that. You see how Y'all doing y'all own thing in that chat with that. Like, y'all, I ain't even gotta give no commentary on that. It's so ridiculous. That's common sense. Now, this is okay. This is a woman giving him wisdom to say, hey, how you gonna advertise to only white people? All she's saying is it's not representative of, because your customers are black. Currently, before that place opened, they were black. So what the hell are you talking about? They purchased enough to get you to that point. What are you talking about? Anyone knows that. He says, I'm not a marketing professional by any means, obviously. You've proven that through this. I'm a brand new entrepreneur that was thrown into business ownership by accident, and I'm glad I landed on my feet. Here's the tea on that. Y'all know I got it. Again, this here is the time period that I knew Darius Cooks. What I did not know was like all this stuff that he was doing. Like I didn't know about this until years later. I would just hear little rumblings here or there about, I don't know, him just stuff, but it wasn't like I was getting details or I just hear something, he pissed somebody off kind of stuff. So the tea on this with him saying, I'm not a marketing professional by any means. I'm a brand new entrepreneur that was thrown into business ownership by accident. And I'm glad I landed on my feet. So now, fast forward 2023, he acting like, oh, he was this genius, this entrepreneur. It's in his blood. He knew this. This is all a part of his master plan. That's how he got here. No, he fell into it just like he fell into e-commerce. Him selling his pots, pans, and dildos. He fell into that because the restaurants didn't work out. He falls into these things and then starts a new grift with wherever he fell into. So what he means by he fell into it is that prior to this, Darius Cooks was working in corporate America. If I'm not mistaken, I may have the particular job wrong, but I feel like this may have been CPS that he was working at or some other company. I feel like it was CPS though. And he was in payroll once again, because that's his real career path prior to, the social media scamming. His real profession was payroll, not HR, not director of operations or CEO, payroll. He did payroll processing and things related in that field. And so he ended up getting terminated from that job. Now, what I never really I didn't pay any attention really for the most part back then, but he always lost his jobs. And he's smart. We know that. You can't deny that. He is smart. He's smart enough to scam people into millions. But he would get fired from these jobs. And now I think it's this behavior, like, current day, I can see like, oh, he was doing this ish, being a know-it-all, probably scamming on some level. We know he's ignorant. He's inconsiderate. He thinks it's ish don't stink, all of that. And so I can see I would fire him too. I think we all would. Would you fire Darius Cooks if you accidentally hired him? Let me just say, would you fire him? Would you fire the Crooks? Yeah. All off, y'all. Would you fire Darius Cooks if you accidentally, because again, he's charismatic and all that. He can fool you. Some of you followed him to a point, and then you realize who he really was. You really saw it. Let's say that happened. Some of us, those of you who've been in hiring positions, the hiring manager making those decisions, we've all done it by accident. Hire somebody, we're like, what the hell did I do? How you get up in here? And then all of a sudden, before the first 90 days are up, all you working on is how to get rid of them. You're trying to figure out a exit strategy, trying to offboard them. That would be Darius Cooks. So the company offboarded him. And again, that was so many years. That was, 2008, 2007, something like that. So I cannot remember the details. I do remember him getting fired. I do remember that he was like really depressed, like couldn't get out the bed, depressed. I would go over there. He had been in the bed all day. And then eventually it's kind of like he snapped out of it. And the next thing I know, he was getting unemployment. So the next thing I know, he was like in his office and he had all these, huge post-it notes on the wall around his it was his second bedroom that he used as an office. And then he was starting to buy like office stuff. And before he didn't care about all that stuff. So I noticed a shift. Now I was an entrepreneur from the day we met. So I noticed a shift into the entrepreneur mindset. And I think part of it was he got tired of getting fired. So he decided to take control over his own destiny. And so he started talking to me about all these plans, and they just seemed like way, way out. I mean, everything was, an online grocery delivery company. He talked about the cupcake business. That made sense to me because he was starting to sell. And he literally taught himself to make cupcakes because he was never a baker. He never baked. Me having a sweet tooth, when he would cook, I always wanted him to make dessert too, and he never would make dessert except for banana pudding. That was the only thing he would make with those Sargento crack cookies or whatever. But anyway, so I noticed the shift, and he had like this big grand plan, and it was all these pieces. And I'm like, okay, that's a lot. Okay, have at it. I ain't one to piss on somebody's dreams. So, and we're going to talk about that too. I got some stuff on that. So we go on. He said he fell into it by accident. So we know that means he got fired. He was unemployed, living on unemployment, living pillar to post, not knowing, trying to not get evicted from his apartment, yet another apartment, which would have made his third apartment. Was that before that one or that? That was, so he got evicted from Huron first. That's when I first met him. Then he got evicted from, was Lake Street. Lake Street was next. He got evicted from there. Was Kingston next? Kingston was next. He got evicted from there. Then Warren was last. He wasn't transparent with me about what happened there. Probably got evicted. He probably got evicted. And then he ended up moving into our friend's building. And I do know he skipped out on rent. And he had a roommate. That was the first time I had ever known him to have a roommate. He had a roommate. And that roommate and I still communicate. That roommate, he just had a housewarming and everything. But even he said we need to get together and just like all do kind of a healing session. All of us who just had to deal with that sociopath and all the damage he caused, because the roommate never invested in the businesses. The roommate wasn't a part of the food truck. But he did the roommate dirty too, and a bunch of other people. So, there's that. So let me see where I live. So he fell into it by accident, and he's glad he landed on his feet. He said, "In fact, I've got a degree in a completely different area of study, biblical studies. So I'm using common sense as my team, and I build this marketing campaign." He ain't got no team. He ain't had no team. Also, the biblical studies lie. I forgot. I didn't read this again because I knew the context of this. So I didn't read it. Had I read it, I would have noticed that the Bible study degree or theology degree lie is up in here. And there is proof. I have it in other videos. I don't have it handy right now. But he lied about being graduating and having a degree in theology. It was proven when he claimed he went to the Moody Bible Institute, and someone emailed their alumni chapter to look up and see if Darius Cooks Darius Travoy Williams had ever attended or graduated, and they said they have no record of him whatsoever. And this was official. So he never attended. I don't know why lie about something like that. I don't know. I mean, it's crazy. Anyway, he went on to say, "You confirm by thanking me for sending this email that you did, in fact, directly receive this last email. I used the same mode of communication when seeking potential investors. This means you received those earlier email messages as well. Had you taken the opportunity to potentially become an investor, I'd have every right to take the time and entertain your thoughts and ideas. After all, you'd be a shareholder, so this company would be yours as well. that's a lie from the pit of hell too, because he had investors and he did not listen to them, and he ran off with their money and acted like they were garbage. Such a grifter and a gaslighter. And on top of that, he's trying to turn this into a sales pitch after he just called her stupid. He says, finally, the deadline for investing is approaching. It is set for March 1st for $2,000 per 1% share. You have the option to own a percentage of this company. That means that as your CEO, I have every right to listen and electively choose to heed your advice. If you'd like to become an investor or would like to hear more information, please contact me and we can set up a call of Skype conference to discuss. This will ensure a medium will be presented in which to listen and to act upon any concerns that you may have. So basically he's saying, if you invest money, then I'll entertain any suggestions you have. But other than that, shut up because I'm not getting your money. The truth is, and thankfully, I mean, how you going to insult someone the way that he did and clap back the way that he did and think, I mean, he's such a narcissist. But this is before fame, internet fame. This behavior was before he could brag about being a millionaire. You'll see what he looked like. We get into that. He was a nobody. He was an unemployed nobody with this level of arrogance. An unemployed nobody who was only living off of unemployment and the seed money he was able to scam people out of through his charisma. And he got all that arrogance like he'd have made it. And this was also before, so this communication is like via email or something, because this was before he had Periscope and IG, because they didn't exist back then. And as I stated, he had somewhere around 5,000 Facebook friends. I don't know if he had started his business page by then. I think he did. He did have Everyday Cooking by then. He did. And then he was on Twitter as well. But nonetheless, per usual, Darius Cooks created his own narrative around, at that time, his small flock of flying monkeys. I'm not sure they were flying yet. They were eggs. I don't think they had quite hatched yet. But he was sitting on them, though. He was sitting on them, trying to warm them up. Oops. He was sitting on them with his camel toe, warming up his what do they call them, hatchlings? His little baby flying monkeys. And so he ended up running to his blog post and sharing the conversation. So what you see today, where it's kind of like, this man shared everything. Why has he got to put everything? Why everything got to be content? He was doing it way back then. So where people now were attributed to, oh, he's such a social media maven. He's so wise when it comes to social media. He's learned some stuff for sure. Ain't gonna take that away. However, it's just that his narcissistic behavior aligned with how social media best works. The more you produce, the more eyes and the more exposure you get, the more drama you give, the more people engage. And so he was doing that. He was always posting stuff, and he was always giving behind the scenes, which was giving drama. So here's Darius Cooks doing what he does best, giving the drama. So he does this as a blog post. And now we get to see that this was in February of 2010. And he says, Black versus white, an issue of race? Uh-oh, hold on. Trying to move it closer so I can really read it. So he says, so I promised to share all of my ups and downs of getting this 1,000,000 by 30 with you all. I did. And I'm going to keep my word. So read and weigh in. What do you think? So again, remember, this is before Periscope. This is before Instagram Live, where he could just run on there and rant and change the narrative. He used to write all this out. So it would only be a select people, you know, they had to be following him on his blog to see this. So the people who were building his following on Facebook, they didn't know this ish was going on. The other platforms. This was like a separate blog website. So he says, we're getting ready to shoot our first commercial for our product on May 7th. I specifically cast it for an all American white woman between the ages of 30 to 40. A black woman who received my email had a few choice words, and she emailed me. Here's the transmission. So we read his response, and now we get to see him change the narrative. So the woman, the response that we just read, the original message she sent said, Darius, thanks for sending me this email regarding this commercial. I am, however, extremely disappointed that you have determined that only a Caucasian woman can represent a typical American family. I am an African-American woman who could represent the typical American family just as good, if not better than anyone. Maybe you should consider not only changing the verbiage, but also consider opening up the casting of the roles to all races, since that is what's being typically American should be all about. Makes sense to me. Makes a lot of goddamn sense to me. It is very true. Very professionally written. I feel like the tone is fine. But we saw his response. That was what I just read. His response was to that. Now, this is what he's telling, this blue part is what he's telling his infant hags. They were in their infancy then. He's telling them this is how he responded. But we got the truth of how he responded because we got the real email. We read that. But let's see what he told them. Remember, he creates a narrative. He says, dear black woman, because now he's retyped. And see, people don't know he does all that. He's retyped what he claims was the response. Thanks for replying. I'm sorry you feel this way. The essence of any marketing campaign is to ensure the products look and feels like something the audience has a demand for. If I were primarily running the commercials in urban areas, Chicagoland area alone, then I agree with you. Chicago's a effing melting pot. It's not, Chicago ain't all black. What? What? Oh my God. However, I'm not. The heavy rotation of this commercial will be seen in the likes of Peoria, East St. Louis, Rockford, Urbana, and other areas where African Americans aren't prominent. I have financial goals relative to this project, and it's my desire, as well as the desire of my investors, so he's admitting he had investors, that we take the most appropriate steps to meet those goals by casting a typical white American family. I've done that. If you have any other concerns or questions, feel free to reach out to me. Enjoy the remainder of your day. Does that look anything like what we saw him? Oh my God. Oh my God. Y'all see the gaslighting was happening way back. That's what, almost 14 years ago. Almost 14 years. 84% of you, I'm closing out this poll. 84% of you had not saw this letter. And that's why the hell I brought it on tonight. This wasn't even, really, I would have saved this to Foolishness Friday, and let Velnito do it. But Velnito got other stuff to cover on Friday. Y'all better be there. Y'all think this is something? I ain't even done. And Friday gonna be even more. I was about to ask a question. Was his first? Well, what's his? Oh my God! I wish my brain was working with the writing part. I'm gonna just say, was his first response the same? The same as the version he posted for the hags. I don't know. I may have a typo. Who cares? Y'all know what I'm saying because I'm just telling y'all. Was the first response the same as the version he just told the D-Hags that he wrote? Because he's claiming like he cut and paste. But now, with all of that we just saw, now he's claiming to be all pro-black and fake reviewing black-owned restaurants across the country while dragging them for filth for clicks and views. And right, Precious. Put your comment up there, Precious. And then take it down because I'm going to read some more. I think, well, we'll see in a minute. Velnito said, I see it here. Velnito said, handle my light work. Yes. He was like, no, what you got for me on Friday? He's like, I'm going to handle that. You handle that light work. He going to talk about this again anyway, because there's levels to this. So in the chat, y'all type, the internet never forgets, or type, the internet is undefeated if you're still with me and you want more. If you want more and you're still with me, because I got some more. But if y'all don't want no more and y'all done, it's fine. How long we been on here? We going on 2 hours. God dog it, this better not be no 3 hours. Let me see. No, we can't do 3 hours. Oh, Jesus. And it's a work night. We can't do this on a work night. Lord Jesus, it's so much left. Maybe I'm going to have to do a part 2 tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow we just do a part 2. Let me see. I'm going to do another poll. I see what y'all saying, but I'm going to say, should we do part 2 tomorrow? It's up to y'all. If y'all want me to keep going, hell, I'll keep going. But should we do, I'll just say, should I finish? Should I finish tonight? So should I finish tonight, or should we just do a part 2 tomorrow? We can, however y'all want this to look, it's how it's going to look. We can do part 2 tomorrow, or we can keep going. I know it's a work night for some of y'all. Some of y'all got school in the morning. Some of y'all got appointments and all of that. I'm not trying to encroach on your time, but I do want to share this with you. And y'all know, y'all can see I've been holding back. Keep telling y'all I've been holding back. I think people think I'll be lying. Well, I know people think I'll be lying. I know some people, not y'all, but you know, the hags. 81% saying finish. Y'all sure y'all ain't gonna fall asleep on me towards the end, are y'all? You know how you have your friends or you're dating somebody and they y'all be caking on the phone and be like, you still up? Am I holding you too long? No, I'm still up. And then all of a sudden they all of a sudden you hear them snoring. Like, I thought you were gonna stay up with me. Or watching a movie. I thought you were gonna stay up and watch this movie with me. You even fell asleep. We ain't had to put it on because I ain't really want to watch it no way. Who's that just said finish him? Kim, finish him. All right, your wish is my command. Your wish is my command. So now, should I continue digging in the crates? Because I'm like, I'm digging stuff out. All kind of receipts. Just blowing the dust off of them. This stuff been sitting forever. Oh, it's down here. Here we go. Yep. Now I'll pull the rest of it in. So this was part of, I do have it somewhere. That was going to really take me to dig for that. But the actual photo shoot he did with the models, I feel like he ended up putting a black woman in it, if I'm not mistaken. I feel like he eventually ended up, because he's a know-it-all, but then I think he got so much pushback that he ended up putting a black woman in. But again, he has built his entire brand on black women, and he clearly makes it clear that he felt like black women weren't good enough for him to become successful and build a brand. And yet black women educated him to say, no, Ninja, we can make you. And they made him, or y'all made him. Some of y'all made him. And he now acts like he cares and loves y'all. But the truth is, he just loves what y'all have done for him. If y'all was around back in the day when he was baking out of his kitchen, even at the Cupcake Gallery when I would go there, the stuff he would say about the women who were supporting him. I don't know who the hell she is. Oh, she was talking too much and da-da-da. Like, it was just very disrespectful. And I was like, this lady was so nice, and you know, they happy to support you and all of that, and you baking out your goddamn kitchen and you treating them like dirt. Horrible, horrible. So this was part of his marketing, and he did all of this. He created, as you see, he has a knack for these cartoon logos. Like, all his company logos look like they could be in a Fred Flintstone movie, Fred Flintstone episode. Everything is cartoon drawn. So he does this himself. He does clip art. He steals something from wherever he found it, and then he makes it his own. And so he did that with the Cupcake Gallery logo as well. And then, you know, I'm sure he figured this out some kind of way, the method to happiness and all that garbage he put on there. Then here's the actual cupcakes. This is what they did. That look anything like that? That versus that. That versus that. This is real life. That's just as fake as his whole career right here. So as you can see, even presentation, he's always cut corners. If you're wondering, what is that cupcake in? And why the hell is it moisture in there? That's going to cause mold, like his moldy Carolina pound cake company. He still ain't learned. This was back in 2010. Fast forward to 2020, 2021, when he had the Carolina pound cake company, he's still selling stuff that create baked goods that have mold. He still ain't learned that you can't trap the damn heat. You got to let the stuff cool off. So instead of him getting proper wrapping, you know, and figuring out a way to contain those, he did have the boxes of it, but this is when people are buying 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever. He put them in, that is a cup, a plastic clear like Solo cup with a lid, like a little, you know, fountain drink cup, and he put the lid on and flipped it upside down. That's it. But just like with Carolina pound cake, again, fast forward a decade, you still ain't learned nothing. He don't care. Center Treats, we're gonna talk about that one day. That was before Carolina pound. Center Treats was after this. Well, after this. And with that, people were complaining the wrapping wasn't proper. They were getting their Center Treats. They were like Cinnabon kind of creations, and they were dry. Probably had mold on those too. How the hell you got? And you know what? I think this was a customer complaint with them talking about the moisture in it. They probably knew better. What poll I got up here? I need to close out. Should I keep digging in my crate for receipts? Y'all want to keep going. 93%. 7% must be Darius Cooks flying monkeys. All right, we're moving on. So now we're going to move into, we're going down memory lane. I'm hitting the primary prongs of this scam. We've now done, you know, the creation of it, the foundation of it, the idea of it, where it came from. Now we're moving into, and then we talked about the history of what his customer base, the customer base he desired, which is not who he has now. He was stuck with them. And so he's like, well, I'm going to scam who I'm stuck with. So we did that. Now, and then we kind of, you know, we just looked at, if you want to call that a product, we've kind of glanced at the product. We ain't got time for that. We glanced at it. Now we're moving into the investor experience. So Darius Cooks, again, this blog tells a story. Oh, Lord, does it tell a story? Thank you, Crooks, for your timeline, because I couldn't remember all this off the top of my head. I didn't care that much. But the people care. The people are the reason I'm doing. No, well, yes, they are actually the reason I'm doing it, because I could care less. Really could. That's why I ain't talked for 10 years about this. Anyway, so on April, so that last post between the exchange between him and the lady who was obviously a follower of his was in February of 2010. Lots happened between then. But this next post that we're talking about is now April 8th of 2010. So he says, oh my God, it's a countdown, I think. Hey, y'all, in my Paula Deen voice. Another thing, he's not as original as he acts like he is. He said the other day, I got it. I'm going to clip it. It's going to become a joke. It'll probably end up in the trailer. He said that he is the blueprint. Blueprint of what? I don't know. But he claims he's the blueprint of social media cooks and that everyone follows him. However, I know better. He's actually admitted better too. We don't talk about it all. We got years of content ahead of us. Years. We can do this every day, Monday through Friday. And probably got 10 years worth of content for y'all. No lie. So he talks about that, him being the blueprint, but he has copied everything. He created his persona based on the Food Network. When he watched Paula Deen, when he watched Sonny Anderson, where he watched G. Garvin, where he watched, what's her name? Ina Gardner or something. I don't watch him, so I always... Anyway, he had a plethora of people that he watched. And he took a little bit from him, a little bit for her, a little bit from her, a little bit, Julia Childs. Because I'll be like, I'll come over and stuff. I'll be like, what the hell you watching her for? Like for me, it was like, what? She can't hold my attention. But he was watching, he was studying her. And that's fine. And there's nothing wrong with that. I learned stuff from other YouTubers, and this didn't come together purely out of my mind, most of it, but some of it I learned and pulled a piece from here, pulled a piece from here. But the last thing I would get on here and be like, I'm the blueprint. There's no other bloggers or YouTubers who could ever do what I do. They are all copying me. You don't get the F out of here with your narcissistic, psychopathic. What? That's where I got the problem with it. That's where I got the problem with it. The audacity. So anyway, in this blog post, hey, y'all, in my Paula Deen voice. That's because you copy Paula Deen. She was one of the other people you copied. But you the blueprint. You the blueprint of copying. I'm here. I'm really here. But as you can expect, I've been super swamped. I'm over here trying to lay the foundation for this million buckaroos. I've been dreaming too, a lot. But more on that later. What I've accomplished? Well, let's see. All of the investment stuff is officially over. I'm done with meeting people and trying to secure startup costs. Woo! Not that I didn't enjoy the process. It's just that it takes such a long time to coordinate schedules and whatnot. Anyway, just to give you an idea of what this investment stuff looks like, in the end, we needed $13K as a minimum to start. And we were able to raise substantially more, to the tune of about $60,000. Talk about favor. So he scammed $60,000 out of Chicagoland supporters of his. He says, this project is really amazing. The stories I've heard from my investors are quite amazing. And then you still scammed them. Interesting. I'll share them one day. A totally different post. He ain't gonna share them now because he don't want to admit he scammed all these people. He talked about everything else from his life, all of Chicago, the neighborhoods, the stores he went to, the people he dated, the friends he had. But mysteriously, you never talk about these investors who helped you get your seed money to even give you a platform. Why are you leaving them out your story? Is it because that's where the bones are buried? I ain't never once. All these story times about how you clean your butt for sex and who then stood you up and what's the best cherries as you're chumping and munching all over your crusty chest, your taco meat chest. I've never heard you reminisce about the investors of the Cupcake Gallery who made you. The people who all you wanted was a lowly $13,500 and they gave you $60K. Talk about favor, you said. but we don't hear about them. Why not? I'll tell them. I'll tell them for you. Maybe you forgot. That's why we got the receipts. Anyway, so he goes on to say, so there's a task list now, kind of a pre-production of sort of deal. I think I've got most of the tasks listed. Now it's just time to become a workhorse. Here's the list. So that part is cut off. That part is cut off. Here's the list. So from his personal blog, Darius Cooks claimed to have raised $60K in 2010 from soliciting his investors. And you may ask, like, how did that look, Vale? How did that look? I'm confused. I'm just curious, and maybe I don't fully understand what you got going on here, what you're talking about, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, don't worry about it. I got you. I'm going to let Darius tell you himself. The original Darius. Now, for those who have created this bogus ass narrative that I am somehow some love-sick person who, some ex who never got over him because he was amazing, that he was so perfect, and I'm just jealous. This is the version of Darius that I last saw in real life. Not the version that's been created for y'all after the mommy makeovers and the tummy tucks and his tummy being cut up and skin tossed in a garbage can and liposuctions and chiclet teeth. That ain't the version I knew. Even if it did, it's still been turned off. This is the version I knew. And this is gonna be a bit. So this is Darius Cooks circa 2019. No, I'm sorry, 2010, giving his investor pitch. I hope y'all had refilled when I told y'all to refill. This is gonna be a minute. I don't know how. This is a few minutes, and then in that few minutes, I'm handling a couple pieces of the show that ain't in here yet. So I'm gonna be off camera here and there, but I'm here. And action.
I've been telling you guys that I have this special announcement. Well, the truth is, I have a special announcement that's in 4 parts. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 parts. All right, I'm gonna try to keep this video under 5 minutes. Let's see how well it goes. All right, so the first thing is I just want to take the time to stop and thank you guys so much for all the support you guys have given me with all the cooking I've been doing, and especially with the Cupcake Gallery. All right, my Facebook and Twitter family have shown tremendous support, and without you guys, none of it would really be possible. All right, to go from baking my first cupcake ever in life, January 26, 2009, to being laid off June 15, 2009, to opening up the Cupcake Gallery on November 7, 2009. And right now, November and December's numbers that we've done in terms of revenue have just been outstanding. We're talking about 300, 400% of what our sales goal was. So this has been absolutely fantastic. If you haven't, go to Yelp.com. You can look us up, the Cupcake Gallery, 1319 West Wilson in Chicago, and give us a review. All right, give us a good review if you've had a good experience. If you ain't had a good experience, don't give us no review. All right, but I wanted to thank you guys so much for the support because it means so much to me. All right, the second thing is everydaycooking.com. everydaycookin.com. Everyday Cooking with no G is back and in full force. All right, that was my baby. I had to put it down for a minute because I had to work on the Cupcake Gallery, but we are back in full action. Right now, we got 2 brand new recipes posted on the site, and after this video was posted, is a brand new video. So the videos are back as well. You guys asked for them, and I'm delivering on a promise. All right. So brand new videos for everydaycooking.com are back up and are phenomenal. And the videos are like 13, 14 minutes apiece. All right. So I'm walking you through like full steps. The first meal is called Not Your Mama's Fish Fry. It's a pecan encrusted catfish, and we do like this angel hair pasta that's whole grain, so it's healthier, and we toss it with this spicy chicken and tomato ragu. It is fantastic, all right? So look at the video, you can comment, check it out, boom, 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 all right? The third thing is the website, millionby30.com. That's my personal blog where I'm taking you through this journey I'm going on, because I declare by the time I turn 30 years old, I will have at least $1 million, all right? That's what I'm saying. So on the website, I'm walking you through books I'm reading, conferences I'm going to, seminars I'm going to, things I'm doing, plans I'm making. Everything is on there. And I want you guys to know that I have done this, the Cupcake Gallery, with no financial support from any bank. So there's no loans whatsoever. I went strictly on donations and investors. All right, that's it. Very non-conventional means to open up a business, but I'm doing it because I got to prove a point. I want you to understand that if you have a dream or you have a goal and you work tirelessly at it, like you work at it like your life depends on it, there is no reason with perseverance and God that your dreams can't come true. All right, so I'm walking you through this whole step. It's a lofty goal. Everybody wants to be a millionaire, but I'm putting action steps behind it and making myself accountable. All right, so you can follow me on millionby30.com. All right, and the last thing that I want to say, which is the big announcement I'm so excited about, is this. So we're getting ready to start a brand new company. All right, the company is going to be called Everyday Cooking Foods Incorporated, and that company is going to do two things. It's going to manufacture and distribute 100% whole, all natural foods with no additives and no preservatives. That's unheard of, and the company is going to be owned by a black man, which is also unheard of. Right now in the market, there is no company, no food service company that is all black owned that manufactures and distributes their own products. Well, here we are. All right, we're going to start this company, and the first thing that's going to go out is going to be our dry cupcake mix. So imagine now, you can go to the grocery store and you can pick up Duncan Hines cake mix, and you can pick up Pillsbury cake mix, or whatever the case may be, brownie mix already prepared. Well, you'll be able to go to the grocery store and pick up the Cupcake Gallery cupcake mix, all right, from the grocery store. That's fantastic. And we're going to offer you regular, right, but get this. For people who have celiac disease and are allergic to gluten, we're going to give you the gluten-free option, right? People who have diabetes and can't have regular sugar, we're going to give you the sugar-free option. And for those people who are vegans and don't eat any animal products, we're going to give you the vegan version. So you're going to be able to go to the grocery store and pick vegan, gluten-free, regular, or sugar-free cupcake mix, all right? There's more to come with that. But what I'm doing with that particular company is I'm looking for investors, all right? $2,000, a percent of ownership forever, all right? 1%, $2,000, attached to the site on everydaycooking.com, cupcake-gallery.com will be the investment prospectus. Go download it for free, look at it. It'll give you a bird's eye view of the company, what we're trying to do. It lays out everything as it relates to all the finances, and then if you guys have questions, you can email me, Darius, D-A-R-I-U-S, Darius at cupcake-gallery.com, or Darius at everydaycooking, with no G.com, or hit me up on Facebook or Twitter, whatever the case may be, and I'll be able to answer any questions you may have, all right? The investment meeting is actually going to be on February 1st. That's a Monday. It's 3 weeks away. 3 weeks away. February 1st. 2010, that's a Monday at 7 p.m. on the west side of Chicago, all right, in the middle of the hood, 4151 West Madison, all right. So I want you guys, if you're interested in coming out, just holler at me so I can figure out who you are, put your name on a list, and we can make this happen, all right. Listen, this new company, first year projected revenue, you ready for this? $1.2 million. There's no way we can't do it. We've got phenomenal reviews. We got a great product. It's time to get cracking, all right? So let me see. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's everything. I don't know if it's 5 minutes or not, but listen. If you got questions, you have comments, anything, hit me up on Facebook, right? Darius Everyday Cooking Williams. Hit me up on Twitter at Darius T Williams, right? Darius T Williams. Or We Bake Cupcakes, or Everyday Cooking, right? I got 3 accounts on Twitter as well. Email me, Darius@everydaycooking.com or Darius@cupcake-gallery.com. And for our traditional folks, you can feel free to send me a regular piece of mail at the Cupcake Gallery, care of Darius Williams, 1319 West Wilson Avenue, Chicago, Illinois, 60640. All right? These have been your announcements. Please govern yourself accordingly.
So, what did you think about that? Have you, 92% of you said that it does sound like a sales pitch from a scammer. I'm going to also ask, have you ever seen that video before? Have you ever seen this video before? Let me know. I told y'all I was coming with, I was just blowing that dust left and right off them receipts. Got receipts for days. And I ain't even scratched the surface. Y'all gonna quit playing in my face. Flying monkeys. That was Velnito. Velnito, you're supposed to be at home. 93% of you so far have not seen that video. So I think I've done my job. But we're not done. I'm going to wrap it up. No, I'm going to hold you too much longer. So this was a message received from, right, this is just the appetizer. I don't even know. This is an hors d'oeuvre. We ain't even sat down for dinner yet. We still walking around mingling. It's cocktail hour. I'm just giving y'all a couple little, some olives and maybe some chocolate covered strawberries here and there, and they walking around with the trays. We ain't even sat down for dinner yet. So this here, what's on the screen, is a message from an anonymous person. I knew who it was, but it's an anonymous person who actually was involved in the Cupcake Gallery investment situation. And who was that who had commented? Majestic was saying that that it sounded like a good pitch to them. I don't know if they was just trolling or what, but then they also said that Vale also fell for it. Lies you tell. Vale ain't fall for that. Vale, although I was friends with Crooks during that time, did not, because I followed my gut, I did not invest in, and I need to clear the narrative because people be just throwing me all over the place with all kind of inserting me and stuff I ain't had nothing to do with. I did not invest in the Cupcake Gallery business, the $2,000 per 1%. My gut told me stay the F away from that. And then money and friends don't really mix, and I knew that. And so I did not invest in that. My friend, my best friend who just passed away, he did invest in that. He got a little bit of his money back, but he had to chase Darius down. Like, he never got all his money back. He had to chase Darius down, set up calls, emails back and forth, and all of that. Darius was coming up with excuses for why he didn't have the money, saying he floating, blah, blah, blah. But then he gets on here and talking about 400% profits. If you have 400% profits, you wouldn't have had 20-something people looking for you, saying where their money. It was probably more than that, but it was a group of 20-some of them who actually were able to come together to try to go after him. But he ran to New York. It was the whole thing. So I did not invest in that. And what he's talking about here, the Cupcake Gallery cake mix, I'm like, dude, you just opened this brick and mortar store. It has not proven to be viable yet. And you starting another business. That's when I started to get very suspicious. And on top of that, he was trying to start the food truck with us. The truth of the matter is I had no desire to be a part of a food truck business. I told them, both Darius and the other friend, that I didn't care about that. I had my own business. I had a job. I had a business, was making good money. I was good. And I had my own dreams and all that other stuff. And I didn't want a distraction. However, because he was my friend and he had never burned me until that moment, until, that all of that started going down, I was doing it to support him. So my original response was, I will be an angel investor because, I want to help my friend, because I already felt a little bad because I did not invest in the Cupcake Gallery. I trusted my gut, but then I knew he was his feelings were hurt a little bit too. I knew that because he knew I had money. And then the cupcake mix stuff came up, and I was like, I just played like I couldn't understand the concept. I was just playing dumb. So it was like I had an excuse not to invest because I was like, so I'm lost, blah, 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 like all of that. So he left me alone with that because he's like, basically he got frustrated with trying to explain it to me. So that worked. But when it came to the food truck idea, it was the other friend who I don't mention. I purposely don't mention their name. He does it all the time. But the other friend and Darius took me out to dinner. We all went to dinner together at an Italian restaurant on the north side. And it was more intimate and it was friends talking. And that's what pulled me in. It was pulled on my heartstrings kind of thing. And although I didn't want to be bothered with it, that's how I got involved in that. And then it just snowballed to me now at this point when I had $4,000 in and he claiming he just need a little help here and we can't get it approved. So I'm gonna go down a rabbit hole. I am gonna talk about the lunch machine thing, and I got tons of receipts on. Y'all think this is something. Wait till I tell you about the business I was scammed in. Because otherwise, had I not gotten in the lunch machine business with him, I would have escaped being scammed by him. Like many of our other friends did. Many of our other friends escaped being scammed by him. They just, saw him scamming people all around them. But, lessons learned. So anyway, this is a person who did invest. And so he sent a message to one of the people in the coalition. He's describing the experience and what happened. So he said it was about 40 to 50 of us in a room, and he gave us the pitch. And he did what he does. And with the charm and charisma, convinced me and probably a lot of us to invest increments of $1,000 plus into his business for what I recall being 1% or something like that of stock in the company. He had paperwork and all. I'll admit I fell for it, as he was and is a great salesman. And I was definitely younger, in my 20s, not familiar with investments, etc. And I think I invested $2,000 in the company. This put me on an email list that gave me insight into all of the happenings of the company and what was going on. So he was at a point sending emails letting them know supposedly like, oh, today, the wall is being built. Oh, today I signed a contract with this vendor, all of that stuff. And so they felt like they were part of the process. The part he left out is, oh, I'm going to stop communicating with y'all when the ish hits the fan and y'all realize y'all being scammed. Because that's what happened. It started to be less and less and less communication till it went to no communication. And then it was no communication and they weren't getting any money. And people started like, what the F is happening? And so, it was going down like that. Let me see. So none of the people who invested at least $2,000 in each of the cupcake in the cupcake business heard from Darius when his business flopped. And within a few months, there were no updates from the company. All the investors were saying. And there was also a person who had posted on social media who I guess knew more about investments. And they were saying the entire regulatory system for people to buy an IPO, an initial public offering, the business should be registered and be well established enough to distribute equity. When someone owns a share, they call also cash it out. That's why regulation is needed. So it was stated that the way that Darius even set up the business was illegal. The fact that he had shareholders and he did not register with the state of Illinois to say that he had shareholders, that was also illegal. And we do know that he, didn't pay the people, and they all came down looking for him. The other piece is there's this email between Darius. Hold on, it's been a minute since I read this one. I'm gonna just read it with y'all. I was just trying to make sure the person's name wasn't there because I just pulled this in last minute. It says, "What's up, sir? So here's the deal. I'm into everything, food And I started a bakery that's doing really well. That's a lot. The Cupcake Gallery was never doing very well. I'm going to take that down just because it's covering my face, and I'm still reading it. He says, well, I've got plans to start a multi-million-dollar company manufacturing and distributing our dry cupcake mix. There are more products involved, but this will be the one to start with. I've attached the investment prospectus for your review. $2,000 makes you a 1% shareholder in a company that's projected to revenue 1.2 million on the conservative side. Looks good. Let me know your thoughts. Warmest regards. So for the people who invested, so again, it was a Ponzi scheme. Everything, and if you pay attention, those of you who follow, y'all can see the parallel of how he gives these exorbitant profit margins. And these, we're doing amazing. And every business is doing so great. And also, you notice he won't complete one business before starting another. So, or ensure that it's successful before starting another. And he's the one running and juggling and puppet stringing all of the businesses. Where are your workers? Where are your team with this stuff? This was all Darius by himself. All of this stuff happening. And these are the businesses that he's mentioning in these emails. This ain't all that he had going on. There was Cupcake Gallery, Uptown Pies, Local Holla, Uptown Pies, The Lunch Machine, Fresh to Go. That's five right now. And that's just off the top of my head. I definitely feel like I'm forgetting one or two. He's running all of those businesses by himself. But this was him reaching out to a person who was an investor in the Cupcake Gallery, and he was actually giving them their monthly disbursement because everybody was supposed to get paid like profit sharing monthly, like a disbursement every month. And because he was paying this person and he did it with a few other people and he felt like they had money left, like more money to give, he was giving them money paying them rather, so that he can encourage them to actually give more. True Ponzi scheme. The credit repair company wasn't running at that time, TJ Diamond. That's further down the line. Y'all, I know it's a lot, y'all. I understand. Trust me. We gonna get it together by the time we done with class, with this coursework. Y'all gonna have a degree in the scampire of Darius Cooks. So now we've done the inception of the business. We did the product itself. We've done the investors. Now we're on the employee experience. And I only have one example of this for today. This is a DM exchange between myself and a person I know very well in Chicago who had a friend who worked for Darius at the Cupcake Gallery. And this was back in 2021 when I first started speaking out. And I was getting a lot of cheerleaders from Chicago like, yeah, get him, say something. And I'm like, well, y'all at though, because he's trying to make it like I'm the only one who got something to say. But anyway, and they've been in my DMs. Trust me, they've been in my DMs, as you can see here. So this person says, I wish I had Jennifer's info. She worked here. He did her so dirty. She moved to China. And I said, they think they know him better than those of us that watched him grow up and saw his first few large-scale scams. All I can do is keep sharing the facts. The rest is up to them. I still feel the same way today. This was 2 years ago. I still feel the same. All I can do is share the facts. The rest is up to y'all. Believe it or don't. Till it gets you. Okay, I need to pull some of this out. I got too many clips down here and they confusing me. Hold on. What is this one? That's that. Okay. Because I didn't label them. Oh, here. Okay. Wait, is this the part? Yes, it would be a part of this. Okay, it should be playing next. Let me see. Yes. Okay, good. I'm like, what the hell? So this is about the customer experience. This is just a little long delay.
Is so much scamming being mentioned around you. You know, what's interesting? The people who I scammed out of money, out of whatever I scammed them out of, where they at? Where they post at? Where they stuff at? Why we ain't heard from them? Think about it. Then start shouting. Huh?
So, I don't know how many of you remember that clip. Some of these that I put in here, like the investors scam pitch that he did, I actually had that as the intro to, I think, the original Surviving Darius Cooks series. And so this one you may recognize too, because on the clip that I created, I popped up all these various comments until it filled the whole screen. And I only did as many as I could grab in a short amount of time. I could have did way more. But what we're doing today, I'm not going to even revisit those comments that I had, you know, in that particular clip, in the one that I edited. What I'm going to do is share some comments from the customers. Again, he wants names. He wants people. Where are the people that are scammed? Well, here they are. Wait a minute. Did I not pull them all in? I was supposed to be doing that while I was playing that long ass video. I thought I did, but I didn't. Okay, hold on. Give me a second. Give me a second. Talk amongst yourselves. Actually, I'm gonna play a real quick commercial because I need a minute. Play a quick commercial, then we're gonna come back with that. We'll do this.
What law I broke? Well, tell me what rule, what law did I break?
It's me, Darius Cooks, also known as your local scammer.
You are, you gay, growing up in Chicago, you just end up being with a tribe of people. I don't know, it's really hard to explain. It might be different now, but when I was growing up, there were crews. We had people we hung with, right? Anyway, and I hung with people like, you remember Calvin, LaVelle, those are people that I used to hang with back in the day, and you see what happened now, especially with randomness of Veil. We ain't heard hide nor have him, have we? We ain't heard hide nor have him, have we? Come to think of it, let me not bring his name up, because let me tell you something. He probably, he ready to. Where's the expose? Where is the expose?
All right, I'm back. Thank you for that. Okay, so what we're going to do, and this is our last segment, where we're going to talk about the customer experience. They're at that good old Cupcake Gallery over there on Wilson on the north side of Chicago with the white women with their $300+ strollers that he was so impressed with. Throw this poll in here. Let me see. This one I'm ending says, have you ever seen that video before? 82. I think I read that one to y'all. 82% of you had not. I'm glad we chose this topic for this evening. Up this too long. Hold on. There. Where? Receipts. Oh. Ignore the typo because it's got character limits and I'm rushing, so I ain't feel like keep playing with the sentence and make it make sense. But did you know that there were these like detailed receipts of Darius Cooks scams and horrible behavior dating back to the early 2000s? Like that they were like this, not just gossip and conversation, not just, you know, old Vale said because he remembered that, or he thought he said, or he thought y'all did, but literally it's all laid out. And none of this am I a part of. We ain't even got to the stuff I'm a part of. So can you imagine what I got with the stuff I'm a part of? I was just around. This did affect though, like the trust level. Because again, we were close. So I thought. We were close. Betrayal. Okay, so I'm just gonna. So this was a day. For some reason, something went down. I haven't read these in a very long time, but I pretty much kind of know what they're about. So I just decided to pull them in, and these were like customer comments during this time frame. And this was on some particular day on March 30th of 2011. So we know this is about a year after he opened the Cupcake Gallery that was so successful. So successful that he said he had all these great successful businesses, and yet he ended up moving to, because he's such a great entrepreneur, he ends up ending all of the businesses, leaving them, and then running off to New Jersey. But they were all successful, and he's such a great businessman. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. So let's see what the customers have to say, because this is a business that is profit margin is 400% plus. Amazing business. So much so that he's able to, within months of opening this brick and mortar store, start multiple other businesses because it's so successful. So let's see. This person says, hate to say it, but the Cupcake Gallery has gone downhill. The first 3 or 4 times my wife and I visited, the cupcakes were amazing. After the month-long vacation, when the fancy flavors were added, their mission seemed to turn more towards quantity rather than quality. Unfortunately, I can't say that I've had a good cupcake from them since last summer. I'm missing this. Again, I told you I ain't read. We reading this together. It's been over a year since I've read these. And they said after the month-long vacation, when the fancy flavors were added, he took a whole month off from his business. But again, that's because he's juggling. He can't keep employees because he's a horrible, sociopathic, narcissistic human being. He's juggling all of those multiple businesses that he always claims he can run. He don't need help. He does that today, y'all. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. This, he said, he's the blueprint. No, this is the blueprint. This is the blueprint. This is you. You've been doing this ish since 2010. Well, 2009. This is the blueprint of who you are. Starting multiple businesses, and we've seen him do it. Start multiple businesses, and then one is doing some stuff and taking off, so he's like suppressing all the rest. He started dining with Darius Cooks, or dining with Diarrhea fan club parties. All of a sudden, he can't do the Carolina pound cakes no more. Start the, Carolina pound cakes. Ain't going. All over the place. Cookway Line Star. Now that he's been able to now figure out a way, because even that, he was hiring day labor to handle that when them orders wasn't going out. Of course they're not going out. You got day labor there. Where's your full-time employees? Now he got some. I wonder how many people getting scammed now. Y'all inbox me if you're still getting scammed, because I don't know. I ain't been following that closely. I don't know who getting scammed now. You getting your orders? Anyway, he says, I wish them the best over there at the Cupcake Gallery and Uptown Pies. I forgot about that. He opened Uptown Pies within the Cupcake Gallery business. So if you see this picture I have here, this grift is elaborate. So you see there the first smaller awning that's kind of cut off says Cupcake Gallery. That was the original awning. That was what was there. He put up there. When it started to be time to pay the investors, I think they had like some maybe 90-day grace period, 6-month grace period or something before they were supposed to start receiving their payments. I think it was like only 3 months. I think he made it short so it sounded better. But you know, if you're starting a business, you're not going to be profitable, chances are, that quickly. Anyway, when it was time to start paying them, he created Uptown Pies. And as you can see, the awning is right next to the other. These are not two separate stores. He just has two separate awnings, one over one set of windows, one over the other set of windows. And inside is just the same place. Well, what he told so you might think, oh, well, he added an additional business. This is good for his investors, the Cupcake Gallery investors. They're probably going to make more money now. Wrong. He said that the Uptown Pies was a totally separate business, although they both sold the products from the same register, the same counter, same restaurant. He's telling his Cupcake Gallery investors that they are two different businesses. So they weren't getting the money supposedly that was being made from Uptown Pies, but he also said that the Cupcake Gallery was taking a hit and it wasn't financially as beneficial. On top of that, he started a cupcake. I forgot what he was calling it, but he started a cupcake food truck. So he told them that cupcake food truck was not a part of the Cupcake Gallery. I forgot he named it something else. And so they weren't getting those profits either. So he was saying, well, the Cupcake Gallery itself, the store, is just not doing that well. But these other businesses are, but these are not a part of those. So y'all don't get that money. But y'all see the same kind of behavior now. And it's the people who helped him. This is how he operates. We've seen him turn on his photographer. He turned on me, like people who help him get to a certain level. That's how I know that this 2 kings and a queen tour that they're doing is going to fall apart miserably, because that's his style. They're getting along great now. Everything is ish and giggles. They're loving him. He's preying on them because it's something he wants from them. That I don't know. I don't pay no attention to them to even theorize what exactly he wants, except for maybe how to learn how to make drinks or something. I don't know. Oh, I got it. It just came to me. We know that one is the bartender. Darius I don't think he put it out yet. Darius has been talking about making a cookbook about drinks. And he even had a name for it. Y'all let me know if you know. Has he put that book out yet? If not, that's where Corey comes in. Corey, he'll be able to steal recipes from Corey to put in his book and maybe learn a few tricks. That would be Corey's role. And then when that happens, he's going to cut Corey off for being the stalker he is, the fangirl. Now it just clicked where the Cake King, I heard y'all call him as Jeremy. The Cake King, Darius Cooks, Crooks is now talking about opening up Carolina Pound Cake again in Houston. We know he wasn't good at making them cakes. Palmer made them cakes, his old baker. She's come on, she's been on, I got videos of her and stuff. She's told that his recipe was ish. And she didn't leave him with her recipe. She cooked her stuff. She made them great. They taste great. People bragged about them and all that. And I know she has her own bakery. Y'all support her. I bought from her. I need to buy another cake. I bought a few cakes from her. Her cakes were amazing. And she ships them to everywhere in the U.S. And maybe somewhere else too. But anyway, now that makes sense of what he potentially sees in the Cake King is that he can steal how to properly make a cake from him. The recipe, but also maybe how to package them. I don't know if the Cake King ships or anything. That would be it. I wasn't even trying to put that together and it came together. Right, Scamtini. He want to create a cookbook called Scamtinis. So this person goes on to say, and to respond to the previous post about the owner not treating people well. Again, ain't none of this new, y'all. That kind of stinks. I can't say I've ever been treated bad, just indifferent. You can see it reflected in the Yelp reviews, bad or flaky service, declining quality, etc. And these ain't all the comments that's out there, guys. This is what I pulled for y'all tonight real quick. Like I didn't had a whole day to work on this, or days. I need days. They go on to say, also, is it me, or does the owner seem like I'm sorry, y'all. Also, is it me, or does the owner seem to like to bite off more than he can chew? I just told y'all that. I told y'all this has been so long since I read this. The Sugar Whip Cupcake truck is no more. Thank you, person. Who are you? Thank you, because I forgot the name of it. I told y'all, he had the Cupcake Gallery, but he didn't have a Cupcake Gallery food truck because he didn't want it to have the same name, so his investors couldn't argue and say, hey, you that is a part of the business. He created a separate name. However, he only had one kitchen, one place to prepare all this. The Uptown Pies, the Cupcake Gallery, and the Sugar Whip cupcakes all got prepared in that same kitchen in the Cupcake Gallery building, the storefront. Commingling his A off and stealing from his investors, the people who made him. Because at some point, and I can't say all while I knew Darius, because by the time this started to go down, I had knew him again like almost 10 years. He was not money hungry in that way. It was like, I think maybe there was some level of trauma that occurred when he got fired from that last job, and he was about, going to get evicted once again. He didn't have a car at that point. All of these things, I don't know if something triggered in him that the only way to make his life better was to get $1 million by any means necessary. And so maybe that's why he turned on me and our other friend, really our friend group for the most part. Rochelle, I'm going to do a whole, you said, put up a list of his businesses. We're going to actually it's funny you say that because I actually have it on the agenda within the next 2 weeks, if not next week, because it depends on, I need time to do stuff. Within the next 2 weeks, we're going to do a rundown of all of the businesses. That's probably going to be a 2 or 3 parter because there are 22 of them that I know about. Probably more than that. 22 businesses that I know about. So there's some I don't know about. But he's some brilliant business person. Or is he a brilliant, charismatic grifter, scammer? I'll let you decide. So this person, thank you, person. This is brilliant. They said, also, is it me, or does the owner seem to like to bite off more than he can chew? Still doing that today. This is what, 12 years later? The Sugar Whip cupcake truck is no more. The lunch truck, has been talked about since last year, but hasn't rolled out. That was the business I was in. It did roll out. Well, Darius he just walked away from the business basically, but then tried to scam us, and he turned it into the Sugar Whip cupcake truck. Sold the truck from us, repainted it. I had painted it. Our colors for the lunch machine were white and green, hunter green. When he got the truck from us and all that, well, I'll tell the story in detail, but he ended up, it was supposed to still be the lunch machine. That was our deal on a contract. He then turned it into the Sugar Whip, repainted it pink and white. So this guy thinking that the lunch machine never came out, but it technically did. He says the deal website, local holla. Oh, they just giving the rundown. You would think, oh my God, just giving a rundown. I ain't got a lot of y'all. I don't have to lie to y'all. I got 200,000 other topics I could be talking about. I don't need to create a lie about this one to have content. I can just be talking about everything else happening on social media. But we got this. And it's uniquely ours in the sense of the way I'm able to run it down. Anyway, the deal website, local holla. I'll explain that when we do the overview of the business. I told you it's 22 of them. I'll wrap this up. We get not. Oh, Jesus. We not doing no. It's too late. Jesus. Okay, I'm only gonna read a couple other little comments from these customers. I got way more. Maybe we'll add this into Foolishness Friday, or maybe I'll continue this part tomorrow. I'll figure it out. But yeah, we're not going over 3 hours. Sorry, y'all. Because then if I do that, I'm gonna wear myself out. Y'all ain't gonna see me no more this week, and I don't want to do that. So the local holler was supposed to launch in February, but has yet to. And like I said before, I hate to say it because I like to see local businesses succeed. I just think he needs to take a step back and figure out one business perfect that then maybe worry about starting up all these other ones. P.S. It's kind of strange for him to post as a Oh, Jesus, I loved it. Oh, I was about to get the Holy Spirit in this one because this is the other piece I wanted y'all to eventually see. Oh, that just tingled through my spine. Did y'all see that? I saw it. I almost ran around my office real quick. Almost did a lap. P.S. It is kind of strange for him to post as a customer using his own everyday cooking account. Isn't doing him any favors, just making him look bad. He's been doing that. So for those of you who may not understand what this person just said, he's saying it's kind of strange for him to post as a customer using his own everyday cooking account. So what was happening was even way back when, 2011, 2010, 2009, Darius had burner accounts. Fake accounts, for those of you who don't know what that means, fake accounts where he acted like he was his own customers. So he would log into different accounts, have like multiple email addresses, etc. Log in as Susie Kane and be like, I just visited the Cupcake Gallery. It was so amazing. My family are now catering an event using it, and Darius and his team are top notch. I highly recommend going to them. But the problem was sometimes he would forget to log out of his everyday cooking account. And he would write all that, and it would show up as the business saying kind things about itself in third person. I got examples. It's gonna take me a minute. But I'm not allowing a lot of y'all. I ain't even gotta keep saying that because y'all already know that. I got examples. And we're gonna get our ish and giggles on when I can get my hands on it. Yes, Robin L, the world's dumbest criminal. So with that, I'm not reading up. It's how many I got here? I'm not reading them, but I'm letting y'all know. Let's see that. So we read that one. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, because this is a different day. 10, 11, 12. So I got 12 just right here. Y'all give me till Friday, I have probably another 12. And we just ish and giggles our way through this while exposing this world's dumbest criminal. So I'm gonna read some comments, and I have more than even I was gonna pretty much wrap it up with that. Yeah. I mean, it was a little bit more, but that's the gist of it. Y'all get it. I don't want y'all to feel cheated. Let me do this because I am cutting this short a little bit. I hope y'all don't do y'all feel I'm getting tired. That's why I'm getting off here, y'all. I can't even spell no more. Feel cheated. Oh my God, I can't even spell cheated. It's time to get off tonight. So basically, I'm asking, with me cutting us a little short, I got 12. I only read 1 of the reviews. Do y'all feel cheated? Did I let y'all down tonight? Is what I'm asking. I knew when I got into this, though, that it could have been its own live. I knew that. I did know that. Because, again, I'm cutting it short. But I didn't want to have a live dedicated to him during the middle of the week when we got other stuff, too. Like, this is the whole thing. I don't want this channel to be no effing Darius Cooks channel. But I'm going to do some comments real quick. And then I'm going to let y'all. Oh, Jesus, we got 20. We can't do all these comments. So let me see. Hold on. I'm gonna do 5 comments. So I'm gonna randomly, but I'm kind of pre-reading. I'm gonna see if it's something that I can commentate on. If I can't commentate on it, I'm not clicking on it. If it's just a joke, We can laugh in the chat when I watch it later. Let's see. Okay. Again, looking. Okay. I'll read this one. Sean Holiday is saying he mad because he never got his own shot on at the Food Network. Yeah, see, that is definitely part of his issue. The problem is he is the problem. It's not that he could not have done that. It's not that it could not have happened to him. Had he not scammed Sunny Andrews, or I shouldn't even say scammed. He didn't scam her. He attempted to. She and her attorneys were too smart for that. But had he not scammed her followers, her audience, then he could have been on that trajectory. The problem is he created this situation. That's why when I said that he may get money, but what he will never have is fame. That's not no joke. That's the truth. He ruined that. And that's the thing he wants. He really wants that fame. So he uses the fact that he does have some money as a justification to, like, I don't need that. That wasn't, I mean, I kind of wanted that in the beginning, but look at how much money I got. No. You're using that to make your hags feel like, no, but he got money. He rich. He ain't happy though, because that's not all he wanted. His real dream is gone. I mean, he's still trying. Like he'll try. He'll try. Majestic is saying, I'm not trolling and I have a marketing degree. Yeah. Oh, you're saying that. Oh, that was to my comment. I was messing with you. Vel, are you covering Cinnamon Roll Company? Oh, absolutely, Lisa A. We're talking. You're asking about Cinetreats. Am I covering Cinetreats? I am covering all of the 22 businesses that I know about. Every last one of them. Some are little, I can summarize in a short little 5-minute thing, less. And some are going to be deep dives like this one. So, but yeah, absolutely. I will be covering Cinetreats. And I actually kind of have mentioned it here or there. Like there are bits and pieces of it, but just not a deep dive yet. But it's coming. Brain on Black is saying, Vel, I'm so glad you pursued healing and got away from that diseased 3-inch spirit. Yeah, I mean, the truth is we were just friends. So it was just the betrayal of the business piece of it anyway. I mean, at some point we started to grow apart because of the fact that he was so busy doing all this scamming stuff that I didn't even know was happening. I thought he was busy running these legitimate businesses because all I would see was him commenting just what you saw in that video. Oh, we had 400, I have 400% profits and blah, blah, blah. And so I would see those sort of things on social media, the perception or the illusion of transparency and him talking about all these, great things happening with his business, just like he does today. What I didn't realize until he ran away from Chicago when it all fell apart was that it was all this behind it. It was all just, it was all a lie. It's all a lie. So, but with that, I thank all of you for hanging in here with us this evening for 3 hours almost. Jesus. I'm getting these lives down. I mean, these are, they might be 2 hours, but I can't be doing 3 hours every live, 3-4 hours. That ain't gonna work. So we're gonna get them down eventually. So with that, thank you to my moderators on the back end, Alice Bless Child Good and Precious G, as well as the ones on the front end, Don and Marianne. And thank you to everyone who has sent your contribution via Cash App and Zelle and all of that. I'm going to do a better job of announcing those at the end of the show. Give me time to get it all figured out. And then also don't forget, you can follow me in our VIP text community, also our VIP Facebook community, and pinned to the top of the chat is all of the platforms where you can connect with me and also know when I'm going live. So click on that. And with that, until next time, until I upload the next video, make sure to take care and be blessed. And I'm going to send you out with this video for those of you who want a little bit more.
It's me, Darius Cooks, also known as your local scammer.
You are, you gay, growing up in Chicago, you just end up being with a tribe of people. I don't know, it's really hard to explain. It might be different now, but when I was growing up, there were crews. We had people we hung with, right? Anyway, and I hung with people like, you remember Calvin, Lavelle, those are people that I used to hang with back in the day, and you see what happened now, especially with randomness of Vail. We ain't heard hide nor have him, have we? We ain't heard hide nor have him, have we? Come to think of it, let me not bring his name up, because let me tell you something. He probably, he ready to. Where's the expose? Where is the expose?